What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA Senior Bowl watch party. As we're here to just kick back, relax, watch a little football today, which is going to be a long time before we get some meaningful football as soon as the Super Bowl's over, right? So it's really cool to see these prospects go at it at the Senior Bowl. So we're just going to kind of, like I said, hang out for a couple hours here, watch some ball, give you guys some updates on what's going on in the game. We'll also be looking at the board all day long. We'll be breaking down prospects, all that good stuff, just talking draft mainly and take it all in. I thought this would be a new experience for us is kind of go live, do a little watch party for the Senior Bowl this year. Tim, what's going on, man? I know you're locked and loaded, bro. You ready to go?
Check right underneath my name, man. These are the dudes I'm watching today, right? You got Jaden Higgins, you got Pat Bryant, you got Jalen Royals. Let's go. We got Restrepo playing today for all you guys who like the midget-sized receivers, you know. No, I'm tuned up, man. This is good to go. We got some pizza ready to roll. You know, we're going to chill out, watch a little ball, watch the future unfold right here in front of our very eyes. So I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah, it's going to be great. This is just going to kind of be command central for everyone. Obviously, put the game on your TVs, and we'll sit here and talk. We'll take requests, all that good stuff. Not music, all right? But we're going to be taking requests on prospects, things like that. Tim,
I'll tell you one thing. We are ready to go, Clayton.
Get ready to go.
Sir. Yes, sir, we are. Emilio been working overtime on the board. We were in here after the show last night doing a little bit of tweaking on the board. Not twerking, tweaking on the board. All right, guys, calm down.
Yeah. Jacob was twerking. He had a shift last night at the office. So
probably is today, too. We'll see. So you said Jaden Higgins. We've got Jaden Higgins now with the updated board here, Tim. Jaden Higgins is sitting in the 68 spot on our board right now. So he's creeping up on that second round. Really, really interesting there. The other one you said, what, Pat Bryant? Let's see where we got Pat Bryant.
Yeah, Pat Bryant, the second, Illinois, I believe.
Yep.
Another bigger receiver.
We've got him at 120 is where he's at on our board. And then the last one is Jalen Royals, correct?
Yeah, Jalen Royals. That's my other guy.
Let's see where we got old Jalen Royals at now. Because, again, this stuff adjusted last night. We got a lot more information in. 88 on our board there, Tim. So the guys that you really like, it kind of feels like second to third round might be that range, right? Maybe bleeding into the fourth, depending on what the wide receiver draft does. That's just according to our board. It could be way off, but that's the way we built our board here this year. So let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of news that broke. And I know the game's getting ready to get kicked off right now as the guys are set to get that rolling. Just want to kind of talk about a few things that came down the pike here. Tim, if I can get the right Twitter up. That's the problem with having multiple windows open. And this is going to be a well-oiled machine, I promise you today. All right, here we go. So yesterday, Easton Butler had tweeted out that the Packers met with Virginia safety Jonas Sanker at the Senior Bowl per @Alec_332. So I looked him up earlier. Let me look it up again here. I know I took a quick peek earlier.
It's a safety who can play in the slot. Look at that.
228 on our board. So a later round pick according to our board. The consensus big board had him at 200. The PFF big board had him at 98. His PFF grade in 23 was the 113th graded safety, and then in 24 he was 258. So Tim, do you have his PFF profile pulled up? Is that what you're looking at there?
Yeah, I'm looking at right now 72.8 in 2024. Let's see where they have him. They have him at 102 on PFF's board. 256 out of 912 safeties. Jonas Sanker.
Got it. Jake in the house says, crazy how times have changed. Last year, wide receiver talk was blasphemous. So true, man. It's so true. So, yeah, there's Sanker. You want to keep an eye on him. Again, probably would be a little bit later round pick. We've got the cheese emoji next to him. That way we know, all right, the Packers showed interest in him. Obviously, he's at the Senior Bowl there. Should be playing today, to the best of my knowledge. So, stadium's starting to fill up out there. I mean, it looks like absolutely beautiful weather. It's just, barely any clouds in the sky. Beautiful blue sky is the backdrop there at Hancock Whitney Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. Going to be a lot of fun watching this one. And Emilio may be joining us shortly. We'll see. I know Jacob. I think Jacob got called into work.
Man.
Jacob got called into dance. called into work. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Jacob was ready for this, though. He was excited for this. Hopefully he can sneak out of there, you know. Hopefully he can sneak out and join us a little bit later. I'm sure we'll be on for a while.
You guys know exactly where he's at, too. This dude How many times have you been excited about plans and then you get that call that a coworker called in, right?
Yep.
Or someone that, maybe you're a supervisor or a manager and you gotta fill that spot because somebody got the little cough. They got the black lung pop. So we'll see if he makes it in here a little later. Another one, Tim. This one might get you a little bit excited here. We got a cornerback on the board. As Ethan Butler said, the Packers met with Ole Miss cornerback Trey Amos at the Senior Bowl per at Gary Wolfel. All right, if I'm saying that name correctly. And I want to say that someone, here it is, Kyle Krabs of the 33rd team in his mock draft 1.0 actually had us draft Trey Amos in the 23rd pick. And then lo and behold, yesterday, actually it might have been, it was yesterday the news dropped that the Packers had met with him. So obviously he's going to have the old cheese emoji on the draft board next to him just to show us, hey, the Packers were interested. Tim, what do you think about Trey Amos here, man? We just talked about a safety that played a little slot. What do you got on Trey Amos? You got anything you want to add there?
Pure corner, not much of a slot, it looks like. Played in the box a little bit last year, but definitely seems like a boundary corner, graded out at an 85.7 according to PFF. So certainly worth a look at, right? And he's not undersized, 6'1", 190. He's going to be 23. So this could be a solid prospect depending on where he falls on the board. And again, where Goody's got cornerback as a priority,
Yeah, let's see if Daniel Jeremiah had him go in the first round. As we talked about, Kyle Krabs did. I'm not seeing Trey Amos. So according to Daniel Jeremiah in his mock draft 1.0, he sees Trey Amos falling out of the first round. We have him in the number 29 spot. So that would be a solid pick for us at 23 if he was to be there. It's right there in that ballpark. However, if he continues to drop out of the first round, who knows? Maybe he lasts to the mid to late second. You can jump up there and grab him there. Maybe, I don't know. That's what we were talking about though. Kind of feels like if you wait till beyond the second round of the draft, you're going to kind of be in no man's land trying to get a corner unless these guys begin to fall. As we got the opening kickoff here, and the white jerseys have the ball first. I believe that's the national team, Tim. So to answer your question, the national team is wearing the white jerseys. I know you got the roster and everything for us there. I'm going to make a little note because I know I will forget. National is the white jersey.
Yeah, I wrote it on my call sheet. I got the call sheet ready, Clay. We're good to go. I got everybody.
My man. That's what
quick reference. Let's get it.
And then, of course, the American have the I guess it's the orange jersey. Is I don't know, maybe a burnt orange or a brown. The Reese.
Yeah, I was going to say not quite a red. It kind of looks like maybe they did that for Reese's. Like
they did
peanut butter cup color.
No doubt. All right, here's the first handoff of the game. Who's wearing 0 there for the national team, Tim? Running back is that Gordon? Am I thinking right?
Ollie Gordon II, OSU.
Right. Got it. All right, Ollie Gordon II is going to be starting at running back. There was something else I wanted to hit. Probably now would be the good time to do that. Here we go. Tom Pelissero said the American team will announce 2 starting quarterbacks at today's Senior Bowl. Notre Dame's Riley Leonard, the first half he'll play, and then Alabama's Jalen Milroe will play the second half. Ole Miss's Jackson Dart will also play early, and it said Oregon's Dylan Gabriel starts with the national team. So that's Dylan Gabriel under center over there.
And for the PTA team, I will be eating pizza early.
My man, that's what I'm talking about.
Special announcement.
I was going to go wings. I was going to pizza. I was going back and forth. And I went, you know what, man, let's do some beer dogs today. So what we did was we sauteed up some onions in a skillet, right? And we threw some Nathan's dogs in that skillet and then just covered them with beer and let it hard boil down to where there's no beer left and everything. Oh, my God.
Got to go with the Nathan's for sure.
Yeah. Nitschke, my little ankle biter dog, he's down there at the bottom, sitting below the stove like, bro, you going to just drop one? Just one. All I need is one. So
I love it.
Yeah. So we're doing beer dogs and fries and chips, stuff like that today. You'll see me munch before the day is over here. 2nd and 5, 13:24 left in the first quarter. Dylan Gabriel finished the year with 3,857 passing yards and 30 touchdowns in 2024. Third team AP All-American. Let's see what we got here. Under center, 12 personnel, 12 nasty. Seen a lot of 12 nasty at the Shrine game, too. Boy, he barely got that handoff in the right. That looked like a miscommunication there as they're going to lose yardage. And looks like Jones, number 34, Tim, for the American team, made that tackle. And boy, oh boy, did he beat that guard. Beat him like a drum. Who do we have there? 0 for the American team.
Savion Jones, LSU, yeah.
There you go. All right. Good deal. So let's
Shout
see.
out Drew D. He went and got Crow's Butter Burgers. Love it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Love
what
it.
I'm talking about. Gotta love it, boy. Getting the replies lit up here with some half naked women on Twitter. You gotta love that, right? There's another bot to block. So see if we can get back to the original here. There was something else I wanted to hear. Jack Kaiser was one that popped to me, man. I thought this was interesting. I don't know how much. I want to hear the chat here. How much stock do you guys put in this right here? All right. How much stock do you put in what Jim Nagy said? Notre Dame's Jack Kaiser was named top linebacker on the American squad in vote from the offensive lineman, tight end, and running back position groups at the Practice Player of the Week awards ceremony today at the 2025 Reese's Senior Bowl. And he came to Mobile after only 6-day college football playoff window and a 16-game, what else does it say, season. So Jack Kaiser's like, listen, boy, I got nothing to hide, man. We're doing this. We're going to be ready to roll. You guys know I'm a little higher on Jack Kaiser than most because, I'm a Notre Dame fan, obviously. But, again, team captain, a little bit undersized, most people would say. He's at 6'1", I think 6'1 3/4 where he measured in at, a little less than 230 pounds. I want to get the chat's take on that, as it's a 2nd and 10 pitch play here. Looks like the national team picked up about 4 or 5 yards on that play. We got a 3rd down coming up. Tim, what do you think about Jack Kaiser, man? How do you feel about Jack Kaiser?
I'm a little biased too because I kind of lean towards the Irish myself. I'm not a big college football guy, but if I'm watching, it's usually Notre Dame for sure. Notre Dame and Georgia are my teams. I haven't made that a secret at all, but so I'm probably a little higher on Kaiser too, just because of the bias. But I think he's solid, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of today's game and see how he looks out there.
Yeah, definitely. I see Jake in the chat. Jake, are you available? If you're available, I'll shoot you the link real quick, man. I wasn't sure if you were or not. I know you were flying back yesterday. I don't want to bug you about it, but if you want to jump
Jake's the man. He's down there for practice, all the important stuff. And then he's like, you know what? I'll jump on the flight, get home in time to watch the game. I love it.
Exactly. I'm gonna shoot you an invite anyway, Jake. If you want to jump in, you go right ahead, brother. I'll shoot you a DM right now. Give me just a second. As looks like they moved the sticks there, so we got a 1st and 10 now for the national team. Is it right up the gut again, man? Another solid run there for the national
team. Says bunch of Notre Dame fans in here. Yep. Sorry. At least we're not Chiefs fans.
All right, Jake, if you're available and you want to hop in, man, you got the link, dude. No pressure, though. If you want to just sit back and enjoy the game, I completely understand that, too, rather than getting in here talking with us knuckleheads. And we'll see. Emilio's MIA right now. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he ain't in the clink. You know how it is.
He might have just passed out in front of his keyboard while he was updating the board.
Could have.
Working a little overtime.
The other thing, Emilio will be the first to tell you, man. Oh, look at this. We got a halfback pass. Oh, what a grab. Fighting through contact. Who was it? Tim. You see who that was, sir.
I'm 30 seconds behind you again, man. What the heck's going on with my feed?
I'm going to pause then. Okay? I don't want to. Where do you see it? You're about to go nuts. Halfback pass. Where do you see this, bro?
Oh, man, I got a feeling I know who this is.
Yeah, you know who it is. You know who it is, sir. Fighting through a face mask, contact, everything. I'm pretty sure. That is wild.
Oh, snap.
Snap.
Oh, is that my dude?
Hey, see,
that's my dude. It sure is. Let's go. Let's go. Iowa State, baby. Jaden Higgins.
Jaden Higgins with a contested catch there. Fought through a face mask. Dude was, the poor kid tried everything he possibly could to just drag Jaden Higgins down. He still brung in the catch.
Ollie Gordon with the pass, though. Got the skills.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
What are you showing right now? Are they going for
the replay? Yet? They're showing the replay of the tutter. Yeah, he was wow, you got PI and a face mask on that.
Do me a favor, man. Tell me when they throw this 2-point conversion pass. Say they're throwing right now. Tell me as soon as the ball leaves his hand. All right.
Oh, okay. We're gonna sync it up.
Yep. Let's do that.
Let's see where I'm at.
Looks like everybody.
They just broke the huddle. I got 9:48. 11 seconds on the play clock. All right, they're about to snap. All right, snap and throw.
Got it. All right, we're synced up now as long as something don't go haywire.
Nice.
And that was Arroyo there. We've been
Yeah.
talking about him a lot, right? Arroyo.
Yeah, man.
There you go. Blake B says Arroyo with the Jermichael Finley fade. Let's see if we can find him on the board real quick. I know he was kind of, I want to say he was kind of high, right? Arroyo.
On our board, I think so.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how to spell his name now. Can you help me with that spelling, Tim? Arroyo, he's number
A-R-R, let's see. A-R-R-O-Y-O, Elijah Aroro.
Got it. A-R-R-O-Y-O. All right, yeah, we've got him in the 73 spot, so a potential second to third round pick, right? Somewhere in there, most likely.
Yep.
You kind of break them down too. You kind of go like top 5, and then you go kind of top 10, and then it's first round. Then you go second and third are kind of grouped together. Third and fourth are kind of grouped together. And then it's like day 3. You know what I mean? It's like the final guys. It's kind of how you break that down typically. So there you go. Yeah, John Schultz. We should be fairly synced up now. I didn't see anybody say they were on the same one as mine. I'm on YouTube TV. It tends to be a lot faster than like regular cable.
Oh, I get it. That's why. I'm watching direct through NFL Pro. That's what I'm doing.
We should be synced up now, though, so we should be good. Cool. So, again, Jack Kaiser, just a name to look for because right now I'm trying to think of where we have him at. Jack Kaiser was a little bit later on the board. I don't want you guys to think I'm giving him a first-round talent or anything, first-round grade here. But Jack Kaiser, we've got in the 104 spot, and I'm looking at it going, if you're gonna end up taking 2 linebackers, if Eric Wilson and Isaiah McDuffie are both gone, and they both may re-sign him, we don't even need a backer. But if you need one, this is a dude, Tim, that if he falls to the 3rd, 4th round, somewhere in that range, I'd love to get him. We know how Goody feels about captains of teams, and don't get me wrong, probably 98% of these prospects that are going in the draft were captains of their college team, right? That's probably the case there. So, but again, Jack Kaiser, just keep an eye on him moving forward for sure. All right, let's see here. There was something else I wanted to show you guys, a couple other things here. Here's another one that got a bonus for us this week, Tim. Gray Zabel dominated, obviously. Yes. Jim Aggie said North Dakota State offensive lineman Gray Zabel was named Senior Bowl overall practice player of the week today in a poll of NFL executives from all 32 teams.
Here's the guy.
So, literally all 32 teams voted, and they voted that Gray Zabel was hands down the best prospect during practice this week. So that's really exciting. He went on to say, I think it was him that he had mentioned this as well. Maybe not. Someone had mentioned like the top center in the draft. Maybe that's coming up on another tweet that I had here. I think it probably is. There was another tweet that I had tried to put out. Maybe I didn't, but someone had mentioned him as the top center in the draft because he played center, obviously. So, here it is right here. Yeah, it was Dane Brugler actually mentioned it. Let me get it up on the screen for you guys and gals. This is really interesting. Dane Brugler said, and it wasn't really close. Zabel had a dominant week. He was already in the top 50 mix, but now he's knocking on the first round door, top center in the draft. So hands down, he is now being mentioned as a center and the top center in the draft. And this is exciting. Let's see if we can pull him up real quick and see where his grade is. So he's in the 60 spot for us. All right. And let me explain. Some guys are going, whoa, Clayton, you had him higher than that. We did. Here's what brought him down. The 33rd team big board, Kyle Krabs, had him in the 89 spot. All right. Daniel Jeremiah had him in the 48 spot. He got a bonus for Senior Bowl because he just absolutely dominated the Senior Bowl. Right. And before that, the consensus big board had him at 74. Right. PFF big board had him at 39. And his PFF grades were off the charts. So we've got him settling in at the 60 spot right now. We'll see where he ends up when we get to the final averages there. But we do have DJ's ranking of him and the 33rd team in the database. So that's probably about where he's going to be. The fact that they're saying now he may be a first-round pick, Tim, really, really exciting stuff there. And, again, the top center in the draft, you might see a team or two try to reach for him, seeing that center is so thin there within the top 100. You know what I'm saying?
That must be, an explanation of why he's basically, they're listing him as a center now. I'm looking at him on PFF. You've got nothing.
Right.
Everything is guard or a little bit of guard and mostly left and right tackle for him. And maybe because the class at center in this draft is so thin, like this guy just jumps off the tape. Maybe it's in his best interest to go into the draft as a true center. If he can prove that he can do it. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And we got Jake Shavink joining us now. Jake, hope you're doing well over, buddy. You recovered? Jet lag? You good, man? How we doing?
Yeah, pretty good overall. Just good to see folks tuning in for the Senior Bowl and for this live.
Yeah, it's we got a good crowd in here, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me ask you about Zabel here. We talked a lot about him here lately. We updated our board last night. Me and Emilio were in here like a couple geeks till midnight, just putting some extra information in. And we've got Gray Zabel. Obviously, he's listed as a tackle, but he's versatile. Now you see people like Dane Brugler say, hey, this is the top center in the draft. We kind of talked about it a little bit the other day. Where do you see him at? What range do you see him? Because like Dane says here, he was already in the top 50 mix. Now he's knocking on the first-round door. We've got him in the 60 spot. You feel like it's sounding a little bit low, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's hard to say because, kind of had a conversation offline a little bit about the QB tax a little bit on all the Dart stuff recently. There probably still going to be some offensive line tax on top of that, right? Like you're going to get, and I think it happened last year, right? We kind of thought, oh, was Jordan Morgan really a true first round guy? Was he more in that 40-ish range? So there's probably going to be guys that have that same thing, right? You see defensive line and offensive line are probably going to be sort of brought further towards the first round for a lot of guys, right? I know Harmon's kind of in that weird mix, right? PFF has him low, but I imagine he'll be pushed up near round one. And I think Zabel's probably in that camp as well, especially if, teams think like, hey, maybe we try him a tackle, maybe we try him a guard, he can be kind of a best five guy for everybody. Like that value probably will, at the very least, I think, vault him into those 30s, somewhere in there. Like some team says, yeah, we got our QB, or we got, a top defensive player, or you're the Patriots and say, we got our receiver in round one and McMillan. Let's go get Zabel right away at the top of round two. Like that, with how many teams you see around the league, and I think this was kind of the case last year too, with all the offensive line going, it's like, man, go through the top 10 and like tell me how many teams need offensive line. Right. Like, I mean, Tennessee's at 1. Yeah, they've got, they went and got Latham. They got Skoronski. Who's the right tackle? Yeah, like I know who it is, but like is he a quality starter? Mm-hmm. Cleveland, they're probably losing Wills in free agency as a left tackler. They're going to bring him back. He hasn't really lived up to early first round billing. The Giants, when Andrew Thomas was out, my goodness, was that a mess? New England, they couldn't protect May at all. So like there's going to be plenty of teams like looking in that range. Think Chicago, of course, as well, right? San Francisco, Trent Williams, how long is he going to be around? And even then, like they've got Pooney, but who else do they have like long term? So I think with all of that, I think you're going to see offensive linemen that can be versatile, that have shown that they can, especially these small guys that have shown like, yeah, we can hang against top competition. They'll get pushed up the board a little bit.
Got it. And I know you and I were having a conversation offline about quarterback there a little bit. And shout out to Two-Tone, became a member here on YouTube. Appreciate you, Two-Tone. You came in at the buzzer, man. We're going to make sure you're on the wheel here in a second for the giveaway. So we're going to spin the wheel here probably about halftime, I would imagine. We're going to give away an autographed Dorsey Levens jersey. But we were kind of having a conversation about quarterback, and Philip Rube was asking any opinion on quarterback at like 251. He's talking about late, right? And Drew D says, I still like Howard if he falls, but I don't think he'll last until 251. Philip came back and said, yeah, I think he might merit a 5th or a 6th round pick. What's your feeling on quarterback, man? You can kind of piggyback off the conversation we had offline, but also want to get your take on, if the Packers do take a quarterback, is there any that you really like there late in the draft?
Yeah, late, maybe a little less so. It's hard to know because I think Brugler tweeted this a little earlier. He was like, teams were hoping Milroe and Dart were going to kind of show something, kind of sort of stamp in their top 50, kind of like, yeah, that, this where they should be picked. From Dane's perspective, it sounded like, and from kind of watching the practices, it felt very inconsistent. I think Dart kind of steered the ship back a little bit on course on Thursday with some of the stuff in like full team, but it felt very, very inconsistent all week. And Milroe especially, it was a struggle for him, definitely. So it's hard to know how these are going to be stacked up. I still think Dart's probably your consensus 3 to this point, but Will Howard, I mean, if you asked everybody probably before December, they're like, yeah, day 3 for sure. Not really a question. And then he goes out and leads a team. They shred Tennessee. They knock off number 1. They hang on against Texas, and he makes a big throw late in the game and was pepper in the middle of the field against Notre Dame. Like, he's probably, I mean, I would love to pose this question to you and to Tim and to even the comments as well. Like, if you think about Will Howard, like, if you're talking him, you're talking like a Desmond Ridder, a Willis, like Hendon Hooker. Wouldn't you draft him at least near that range, right?
Yeah.
Compared to all those other guys. So
yeah, I'm all about, once you get outside of kind of those top prospects, right? Anybody's on the table. Now it comes to, what are the traits you like? What other value can you add? And quarterback's so tough for me because, like, obviously special teams can be a cluster buster. If you got a bunch of guys with the same grade, quarterback, obviously it doesn't apply, right? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the quarterback position unfolds because, like what we talked about, with Jackson Dart, all of a sudden people are like, hey, maybe a first-round pick, and he's creeping up. This happens every single year, right? And I know you mentioned that draft specifically. I think that had Malik Willis in it, if I remember correctly. Was that 22?
Yeah, 22 was kind of the one where it was like, oh, man, this is down. And we kind of were like, oh, are these guys going to get pushed up anyway? Because that happens, and there was a lot of projection with that. And NFL teams were like, no. Right. We know what this class is, right? Like, we understand. So, and it might not be exactly that, right? Kenny Pickett went 20th, I think, to Pittsburgh around that pick. Mm-hmm. It seems like, as we all know, like there's going to be 2 for sure that go in the first. It feels very clear to that point. Yeah. But after that, why not Will Howard?
So those 2 being Cam Ward and Shadir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It does. I think if there was any hesitation on Sanders, I think teams would have been like, hey, maybe you should practice this week at the Shrine Bowl,
right?
So we can see you. The fact that there wasn't any pushback and Brugler didn't say anything about any pushback from that from teams on Sanders, it's kind of like, yeah, his floor is probably the Raiders, and we'll call it a day after that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I don't know. Shador in Las Vegas in that jersey, I think it's going to be awesome, man. I'm kind of excited about it. I think
it'd be cool.
How flashy he is. And I say flashy, I don't mean it like, hell, maybe I do. I don't know. It's just, I think of the social media name on the back of the Colorado jerseys and the way they do things. You talk about a marketing dream, at least for a year, right? If he sucks, obviously that stuff will go away. But, man, the platform he would have in Vegas. Tim, you could see Shador out there, couldn't you, run around?
Oh, yeah. We've talked about this, right? For all the reasons you listed, but also just look at the football side, right? You got, Pete Carroll taking over the helm. You got Tom Brady in the ownership group there. Like as a rookie QB, it's a pretty good situation for you to be in.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. I'm trying to get the giveaway ready here. So if you guys just want to talk about what we've seen. Did you see the Jaden Higgins play right off the bat there, Jake?
I did see that. I actually was pretty other than Zabel kind of getting beat there by Jones in the backfield. I thought him and Mbao actually did pretty good on most of the run stuff. There was a nice combo they put together, right? Mbao playing at right tackle and Zabel at right guard. So I excited for those 2. I know Brandon Thorne, who does a lot of great offensive line stuff. He's already had some of the top guys on his Substack, breaking down film with him. He talked a lot about like it's as long as Mbao like adds, some muscle mass to the lower half, like the way he can fake jump set people, shouldn't be real. Shouldn't be a real thing that a tackle can do. So like, that's when he's pointing that kind of stuff out, like during Senior Bowl week and all that, like I definitely mark that down as like, yeah, okay. So Mbao does move different, maybe not a finished product, right? But he is somebody that I think even Packer fans should be keeping their eyes on.
Yeah. And what would you call that? A fake pass set? Is that what you said?
I think they call it like it's like a fake like jump set. I think I want to say, because that jump set's the one where you try to get out super wide, right? You kind of take that hop more horizontally to kind of prevent that speed rusher from turning the corner, get hands on early. So that like fake jump set can kind of throw them off, and they're like, oh, should I be you're going to have to react as an edge rusher. Am I going to have to go back inside? Do I hesitate at all? And then the rep's done, right? Once you hesitate as a rusher, it's kind of over. So the fact that Mbao can do that kind of stuff is insane.
Yeah. I was going to try to find it here for you guys. That's the reason I asked what you called it. So I just typed in Mbao, and we found it here on Twitter.
You did? Oh,
yeah,
right.
So this is from the Senior Bowl, right? Practice. Check this out, guys. That's what he's talking about. See him jump out there, and then that is sick.
Wow. I don't understand it. It's insane because immediately the rusher goes, all right, well, I'm going inside now.
Right.
After he's done that. And it's like, that's exactly what I want you to do, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. That's I watched football for a long time. I don't remember seeing that. And everyone was talking like it's just normal. Yeah, no, that's what he does. I'm like, that's crazy.
What he does.
Yeah.
That's truly insane. And
he's playing chess, not checkers, right?
Yeah. Right. And you kind of have to now, right? Mm-hmm. Like defensive linemen, the edge rushers are getting more powerful, faster, right? You have to be very calculated in your approach and throw anything at them, right? Obviously that you can throw that like fake jab out there that a lot of guys do now to get kind of the rushers to expose their plan a little bit, but like this is incredible stuff.
Really is. Emilio, what's up, man? I see you made it in here.
Yeah.
Tim's ready to take the rest of the day off. He said, we got a Higgins touchdown. I'm done for the day, boys. I'm gonna eat my
pizza. You didn't tell him about the updated board, right, Clay?
What do you mean?
Did he move up? I'm not saying anything.
Did he move up? We already hit on the board earlier, but we'll pull it up again here real quick.
But no, just to that Mimbo point. I mean, we were talking about how the these are built for offensive people, except kind of the offensive line. These drills are built for the wide receivers and the backs and everything. No pressure or anything. So I like that he's kind of attacking attacking that bit, stepping out to him, giving him a different look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I like Embo and Membo, right? You got the tackle from Missouri too. Yeah. Another kind of a guy to keep an eye on. But the guy out of Purdue, man, Embo he's amazing just to watch that.
Absolute snatcher out there too.
Yep.
On film, which is really fun to see. Like he's quick, but he also, when you have that kind of hand technique as well, it's a great combo to have in today's NFL. Fits you in that wide zone stuff as well. Like you're not like limited necessarily scheme wise. And if you have kind of that physical mentality, teams like Green Bay who run zone, they run gap, they'll mix up the run looks. Like they appreciate those players.
Yep.
Definitely. Philip Root became a YouTube member. Appreciate you, Philip. Welcome to the posse, buddy. Welcome aboard. Thank you for the support, man. Yeah, so we've got – this is what he was talking about. Where did he move from? Do you remember, Emilio, where he jumped from last night?
He was like in the – I want to say he was like in the 34th or like mid-30s, maybe, early 40s. But he fell, man. I felt bad for Tim, man. Once that happened, I
think he was watching the show last night. And he went, oh, yeah, let me go out here and just moss somebody today. Snatch one. Now, what dropped him down, though, was the 33rd team board, right? A 79. Right. Kyle Krabs having him at 79 pulled him down quite a bit there. So when Daniel Jeremiah gets his board in, I'm interested to see where he has him. Obviously, in his first top 50 board, Daniel Jeremiah does not have him in the top 50. Where do you see him at, Jake, when it comes to Jaden Higgins? We talked a lot about him here, and I know we asked your opinion the other day on kind of what the type of player is, but where do you see him on the board, you think, man?
Just in terms of like where he's going, you think?
Yeah.
Is what? Okay. I think 50s is a really good spot for him. Which is why I'm concerned, because I think we've latched on to him. I'm very concerned if Pittsburgh doesn't go receiver in round 1, they're taking him 2 picks in front of Green Bay in round 2. Yeah. That's like I feel like that is, because when you look at it, I don't know if there's a lot obviously between now and the draft, right? Anything could change of like what the approach is going to be. But if you're Pittsburgh, right, and you have Roman Wilson, right? You drafted him last year, slot guy with speed. That's fine. You can keep in the middle of the field. Russ, if they're retaining Russ, like downfield, big bodies to win down there, that's kind of where Higgins can kind of fit in and be that younger version of the Mike Williams perhaps for them. And so if they don't go get the Igbuka or the Golden in the first, it feels like, it's going to be kind of a dream crusher, unfortunately. But yeah, I think 50s for Higgins right now, it makes perfect sense.
Got it. Good stuff. All right.
Honestly, kind of where PFF has him, right? That's PFF's board, that third column, 54th.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
that seems about right, honestly.
Yeah.
While we're on it, what about Jalen Royals, Jake? What are your thoughts on Jalen Royals out of Utah State?
Yeah, I think pretty no nonsense in terms of the route running movement skills. Now I'm sure the clips have gone around. You've seen all the TikTok route running that happened on day 3.
Yeah,
which is just hilarious to watch, honestly. Yeah, he seemed no nonsense. There was one rep where Royals just pushed the DB over, I think for fun. Just said, I'm more physical than you, so I'm just going to push you down. I think he's not going to be the fastest, but again, smooth and no nonsense player. Good feel for leverage, good feel for zone, and he still is somebody who, when he got there, I didn't think he was that big. So that should help in the tight window stuff and the contested stuff over the middle. So yeah, another kind of pretty well-rounded player, not as explosive, but in that 50s, 60s, 70s area, it's probably where he's going to kind of end up.
Sure. Late second round, early third round, maybe something like that.
Seems about right. Yeah.
Cool.
So the national team just converted, I think it was a 3rd and 12 to Isaac Tesla. Not that Tesla. It's got 2 A's in it. Let's don't get political on here, folks. Everybody put your stones back in your rows. But nice conversion there from Riley Leonard on that third and long, as the national team are still leading 8-0 though here in the first quarter, 1:18 left. Now we got a 2nd and 1 coming up here for Riley Leonard. I don't know, man. Riley Leonard, I was not impressed with. Obviously being a big Notre Dame fan. Now, don't get me wrong. He's got all the heart in the world. You give that guy the rock, hey, we need a first down here. We need 8 yards. Pick it up. He somehow finds a way. But in terms of a pro-style quarterback, how do you feel about him, Jake, in terms of Riley Leonard, man? You think he'll get drafted?
I think he'll probably get drafted. That's kind of the guy somebody was asking about, day 3 quarterbacks, 251 kind of thing. That seems about right. I think you could pretty much lock him in for day 3. I think he goes behind, Howard and Dart and Milroe. It was it was interesting because I think that was like the headline. It was all 3 of those guys, Leonard, Dart, and Milroe on that American team. It was like, all right, cool. This is going to be great. Can't wait to watch some QBs. And then it's Sheck and it's Gabriel that are kind of doing the best job all week at QB. So yeah, I don't know where he's going to fall, at least for me right now. I think somebody like Sheck and McCord might interest me a little bit more than Leonard.
Got it. And
yeah,
right now,
it's that passing for me, right, on Leonard. I mean, he can run the ball, no problem, but it's that arm talent. Not saying that he can't develop it, but it's just that basis isn't exactly there. But hey, man, if you want to take that first, the first look at free agency, you draft him in the 7th round just so you have him, kind of thing. We did it last year. It didn't work out, but I'm sure someone's going to take a shot at him just because he plays with heart, right? He plays with drive. He's going to leave it out there, so.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. We've got him in the 126 spot, which is wild to think about. But here's how we came up with that grade, all right? And again, that's not saying he's going to be taking 126. That's just where he is on our board. His PFF 2023 grade had him as the 101st quarterback graded. Then he jumped to the 56th highest quarterback graded, right? And then the PFF big board had him in the 100th spot. The consensus big board had him at 149. Now, we still don't have a Daniel Jeremiah or a 33rd team grade, which means he's outside of the top 100 according to the 33rd team, and Daniel Jeremiah is outside of the top 50 there. So once we get their grade, I'm sure he will drop down significantly because he's probably going to be outside of the top 100, well outside of us. So right now we got Riley Leonard there in the 126 spot. But
right on cue, Riley Leonard overthrows.
There it is. Exactly. All right.
He's got a big catch radius.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Any other prospects you guys want to hit on here? Anybody at all, Tim, you got on your mind that we can look up on our board and maybe get Jake and Emilio's take on them here?
Going back to what Jake was saying about Will Howard, like being a guy that, depending on where he falls, don't be completely shocked if Goody takes a flyer and drafts a quarterback, because we brought up Malik Willis. Like we don't know what the future holds for him, other than he's probably not going to be here long term. So what are you looking at in your stable of quarterbacks, right? So I just thought that was a great point because Will Howard looks like one of those guys to me that would probably fit the mold and be a good piece behind Jordan.
Yeah, we have Will Howard in the 111 spot right now is where he's sitting. PFF grade, he was the 92nd graded quarterback in 23. He jumped to 42 in 24. PFF Big Board had him at 97. The consensus Big Board had him at 129 is where he's at. Obviously outside of the top 50 for Daniel Jeremiah and outside of the top 100 when it comes to the 30-13. So
like if he's out there for some reason in the 5th round or something, I wouldn't put it past Goody to pull the trigger.
I can see that.
You want to sort it by position, Clay? See how we got them stacked up in QBs?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let me clear this out here. This is pretty cool. So this will sort the QBs by position and grade, which is awesome. So if we scroll down here, it won't give you their overall ranking on our board. It will give you the order of their grade. Now, obviously, the low number wins over here to the right. Cam Ward is our top quarterback at a 11.1. Then we've got Shedeur Sanders at a 15.6, and then it drops off. Yeah, significant. Wow. So we've actually got Jalen Milroe as the 3rd best quarterback at a 51.1. Dylan Gabriel in that same exact tier out of Oregon, who's playing here today in the Senior Bowl. He's got a 54.2. Then Jackson Dart is down about probably a full 2 tiers. We do tiers by 5-point increments, so it's a lot further broke down than just normal tiers. So Jackson Dart there at a 67.7. Then we got Tyler Huff out of Jacksonville State at 75.3. Quinn Ewers at 86.3. Man, a guy that was talked about, this dude might be a franchise quarterback going into last year, and all of a sudden, man, Jake, he has had quite the fall, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. It's crazy because I remember all of the high school camp videos of Ewers where you see the rotational thrower and he is driving just missiles outside the numbers. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure why. You watch. I'm sure you've all seen him. He's throwing like he's taken a lot off of his throws over the last 2 seasons at Texas. I don't know why he isn't driving the ball more. You just see a lot more touch throws, a lot more dangerous throws because of that. Like he's inviting defenders back into the window. So I'm very
might be
confused.
Why he doubled his interception total from 23 to 24. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he is confident in where he wants to go past like 10, 12 yards. It's very strange. Like you see how comfortable he is with all of like the schemed up screen stuff, right? Like all the spinner stuff they run out of Sark's system. But like I'm kind of baffled because coming in from high school, it looked like arm talent, accuracy, it was all there. It's very stunning.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Texas didn't go with Arch at some point during the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seemed like, okay, like he's also not going to run at all, right? Arch is going to give you also that running element that Howard gave, Ohio State, that Leonard gave Notre Dame, plus, as a passer. So I'm not sure why they stuck with him. But yeah, just a very strange fall for him.
It felt like that was missing in Texas too, man, is not having that ability to kind of, when the play breaks down, hey, let's go get a first down. So Quinn Ewers, 86.3. Then it's Will Howard out of Ohio State at an 89.3. Then Curtis Rourke, quarterback out of Indiana. He was at the East-West Shrine Bowl there at 95.4. Then Riley Leonard, we talked about already. Kyle McCord out of Syracuse at 102.7. Garrett Green out of West Virginia, 108.3. Max Brosmer, quarterback out of Minnesota. He was at the East-West Shrine Bowl. He's got a 127.4. Bryson Daly, what have we heard about him, man? That's the thing. Like everybody's staying away from him right now. I've heard rumors that he may go to the draft. I see other people that don't even talk about it. What do you think, Bryson Daly? Because they compared him to, he might be able to play kind of a Taysom Hill role in an offense. What do y'all think about Bryson Daly out of Army? He was fun to watch this year, man.
Yeah, he was second in the nation in touchdowns. I mean, the dude's not afraid to put his head down and run the ball. Kind of reminds me of a Riley Leonard, maybe a little bit less arm talent, but still kind of in that vein of he's disciplined. He's got all the stuff. He's part of Army. He knows how to carry a team. leadership, energy, all that kind of thing. I could see it being a pull late, 6th, 7th round again, just having a first shot at him. If not, I would lean to, probably one of those, tight end running back sort of, maybe he's that new mismatch, hand off to the running back, secondary pass sort of look, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Drew D asked here, Jake, are there issues with Bryson Daly going into the NFL because he's in the Army? Have you heard anything in that regard sometimes, or service involved, things like that?
Yeah, I do remember this. The first time I remember hearing about this was there was a Navy running back way back 4, 5, 6 seasons ago that like had to get some like
Clearance,
delayed.
right?
Yeah, like your service gets delayed somehow, so you get to go play and yeah, I'm assuming Daly probably has to do the same thing. I would imagine Army and Navy have the same.
Wasn't it Trey Taylor last year that safety out of Air Force? Didn't he get drafted?
He did. Yes, he did.
He's playing now. I could have swore he was.
And I promise you this, man: Army, Navy, Air Force, all those academies. If they had their say in it, hey, yeah, let's let him go to the NFL so we can get a little bit more notoriety with the recruiting aspect, right? Like that type of stuff too. If you've got someone on the fence about going to an academy, that might push them over. Yeah. So interesting to see what happens there, though. Brady Cook, a quarterback out of Missouri, 147. Tyler, how do you say
he was at the East-West Shrine game too? I think Cook wasn't he throwing I'm pretty sure he was on the map, but
he may have been.
Maybe.
Tyler, how do you say this, Jake? Is it Shoe? Is that right?
It's Sheck, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And it's spelled like this, right? We get the spelling right?
It is spelled like that. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Shrek.
Yep.
Thanks, Shrek. All right. Graham Mertz. Wisconsin folks will remember that name, right? Obviously, he settled in down there at Florida. He's got 182.4. And then, what about Florida State? I'm not going to try to butcher the name. Ugalele or something like that.
I got you.
How do you say it?
It's Uyangalele. So it's Uyangalele.
Uyangalele.
I was going to call him DJ.
DJU was very commonly used when he was at Clemson.
I love it.
I like that.
So. I remember preseason, a lot of talk around him, right?
Yeah.
Boy,
6'4", 250.
Yeah, he was a guy. Massive recruit at Clemson. Went into Notre Dame, got a big win. I remember that. Like I think his freshman year. He's definitely bounced around since then. Just another one that's like kind of athleticism, big arm accuracy, kind of wavered for most of his career.
Did he play a lot when last year they lost their quarterback? Was he the one that stepped up and started playing for them last year?
No, actually, because he was still at Oregon State last year.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, he was at Oregon State after Clemson. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the heck it was last year that came in for Travis, but
right, because I remember Travis got picked in like the 5th or 6th round this past year.
Yeah, by the Jets.
Yeah, so I mean, that wouldn't be a bad move. Looking at the next there, who we got? Donovan Smith from Houston. He's sitting at 211. So, I mean, not ideal. These guys, we're talking the border of, if they're getting drafted or not. KJ Jefferson, I always liked him because who came out last year from UCF? That was they had like 2 wide receiver deep threats that came out last year.
Baker.
Yeah, Baker. Oh, man. He threw some pretty balls to him in some of those games.
Yeah, he's interesting I think I'm correct. If he was at Arkansas first and then came over to UCF for the last couple seasons, I think. Yeah, there's some intriguing guys down here. Max Brosmer definitely made Minnesota a lot better offensively this year as well. And I think he was a lot of everyone's favorite down at the Shrine Bowl. And just in terms of like poise, playing the quarterback position right within the pocket. So, that could be somebody on day 3 for Green Bay.
What are your thoughts on Graham Mertz from Florida?
We got a lot of Wisconsin people watching, right? Maybe I'm just, I'm going to respectfully decline that question.
He didn't take the bait.
Hey, I'll tell you, man, I learned real quick last year. You do not say anything negative about Wisconsin Badgers, man.
Be careful out there.
Learn that the hard way. J. Cole said you could tell the difference between the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. You really can, man. It looks a lot different. It really does in terms of the speed, the athleticism, everything. So looks like they got DJ's top prospects rolling across the bottom there. Benjamin Morrison's an interesting one, man. When the season kicked off, obviously before the hip injury, everybody was talking about cornerback BJ, and he was, me being a Notre Dame fan, it's like, yeah, this dude got the ability to be a superstar, but since then he's obviously dropped quite a bit. How do you guys feel about BJ Morrison here, or Benjamin Morrison? Some people call him BJ. I know we've heard him called that before, but Benjamin Morrison, 103 last year, according to PFF. Then he dropped all the way to 330 this year. Obviously, there was an injury involved. We need to go ahead and hit that. Let me do that right now. Bang. Wrong color. What color?
Wrong color.
There it is. That's close enough. All right.
PFF
Big Board had him at 15, and the consensus Big Board had him at 22. We've got him significantly lower, obviously, with our grade being a 66.8. If we were to sort by that, let me do this real quick. 66.8. I know he fell down quite a bit for us. We've got him in the 75 spot here. What do you think, Jake? Tim, I want to get your take on it too, man. You've looked in the corners a lot this year, especially looking for maybe a potential slot there as well.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Benjamin Morrison?
Well, another Notre Dame guy, so I'm a little biased. And he's barely 21, so the Goody DiCaprio factor is real. And he played a little bit of slot. He doesn't look like much, he looks serviceable in the slot, but primarily a boundary corner, right? And right at that 6 foot kind of range, so not too big, not too small. I haven't gotten to do much film study on him, but PFF had him at a 71.4. I think we're a little lower on him than PFF is, right? They got him 16.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's it, because I was just looking. Bucky Brooks' mock draft right there at the bottom had Morrison going 24th to the Vikings after we selected Barron, Jahdae Barron for the first one for our corner. So, they see him as he's probably going in the first round, but again, that injury is something that you gotta keep in mind. I know that, science has gotten better. We're moving beyond it, but it's something that they got to keep in their head.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you think there's a chance they have to consider corner early rounds just because of the talent crop that's in this draft? Like we talked about, if you get outside of those first couple of rounds, it's kind of slim pickings. Like, would this be kind of, first time since Eric Stokes that we see a first round corner? It's possible, right?
Yeah, I think so. Go ahead, Jake.
No, I think it is very possible. I just because, when you look at where DJ has a lot of the corners, where Brugler's talked a lot about the corners, there are going to be so many, I think, drafted in the first couple of days, and there may even be some that get kind of, I think, pushed up even higher, just because the need for quality corners. You're only as good as your third corner in this league at this point, right? With the rise in 11 personnel, kind of got to have a good third one, based on just how injuries work in the league. It's going to be interesting to see how it falls for Green Bay at 23, but it does feel like the year that we'll be back to defense once again. Jordan Morgan, that was fun. We're back. We're probably back to defense this year.
Probably D-line and corner in the early rounds or something. Yeah, I agree. I love it.
All right. So, as far as DJ's board, we're sorted by DJ's board right now. He's got his top corner being Travis Hunter. Obviously, no surprise there, right? And then you drop down to Jahdae Barron, who's in the 9 spot, all right, overall there. And then after that, you go to Will Johnson, who is in the 12 spot, according to Daniel Jeremiah. And then you got to go down quite a bit. It drops off the touch, right? And that's when you're going to get into the next wave of DBs. Of course, you've got our boy here from South Carolina, right? I don't know, Tim, does he have Imanware? Am I saying that right? Did I nail that one? No. Imanware. Yeah, I think we got that. Do we got any slot snaps there, Tim, with Nick Imanware out of South Carolina?
He played mostly deep. I think he came into the box some a little, but I think he was mostly kind of a deep safety. That what do we got, Tim?
I'm looking up right now, and I cannot find.
Probably because his name is Amanawari. He is nice in Ultimate Team though, Clay. Now you throw the little throw the token on him. He's a 94 overall. I mean, come on now.
All right, here's what we got.
Did you find him on the big board, or where did you find him?
I've got him on the PFF big board.
He is some slot snaps.
6'3", 227. Big old boy, right? And Emin Ware, PFF grade 67, 72, 79. So he showed improvement all 3 years. So he had 146 snaps in the slot, 414 in the box, and only 193 deep. So he is more of that spur safety and can play in the slot for you as well. Last year he played 247 snaps in the slot. So he does got a little slot in him. So that might be a name to keep an eye on there with Nick Emin-Ware.
Yeah, that could be one of those guys Jake was talking about that just moves up, with that crop of corners that get taken a little earlier than we thought.
Yeah, definitely could. And again, DJ's got him in the 21 spot there. Next, in terms of DBs that might potentially play corner, according to Daniel Jeremiah, would be Malachi Starks. He's got him in the 33 spot out of Georgia.
What a grab.
Yeah, let's see what we got there.
That just came up.
We're going to see a pretty big spread on his.
Yeah, 271 in the slot for Malachi Starks. PFF grade.
You missed that flea flicker, Clay. They just ran a little dive, toss back to the QB, dart hit Besh on a deep ball.
Besh, is that what you said?
Yeah, go up and get it.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Let's drop this down a second. I'm going to show you boys something. I was just looking at this.
Is it what Coach Boone was talking about? He's stirring the pot over here.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We got something else here too.
Oh, you gotta be careful with those ones sometimes, though.
Really do. Dane Brugler said we're going to hear a lot of Puka Nacua comps for Jack Besh during the process. There you go.
Oh boy.
And it's easy to see why. Athletic and super competitive ball winner, as Jim Nagy had tweeted out. TCU's Jack Besh was named top wide receiver on the American squad in vote from cornerback and DS. I guess that you mean DB maybe.
I think they call. I don't know why they label safety as that. I have no clue why that's deep safety maybe. I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's weird.
Position groups at the Practice Player of the Week awards ceremony today at the 2025 Reese's Senior Bowl. So Jack Besh should be getting a bonus here if we haven't already, Emilio. I think we should throw that on. I've been looking at those awards. I think that's cool that the peers are voting on that. You know what I mean? And kind of saying, hey, here's the dude that stood out to us the most. Right. So we'll throw a little bonus in there for Besh if we haven't already, for sure.
He does not have one. What do we want to give him?
Let's give him a -5 there, man. Let's do it.
Welcome to the squad.
Jay Cole is Besh a tight end. He kind of looks like he could play tight end.
Seriously, man. He's
guy's ripped, man.
Yeah.
I kind of feel for him because he's been labeled now Puka Nacua comp, who to me is one of the elite receivers in football right now. I feel really bad for him now because of that. Because once you see a Puka comp or you get comp to
Pat Mahomes.
Oh yeah, Mahomes is a great example. Like I feel horrible for him now because that's what everybody is going to remember.
Right.
Once he gets drafted, like, oh my gosh, he got compared to Puka. He's going to be elite, and I feel kind of bad.
There's our boy Jake Jackson Dart runs it in for the touchdown. Runs through a couple arm tackles as the American team is on the board now. It's 8-6. We'll see if
they're doing the.
I seen that. Remember the Titans, right?
Yeah.
Who in here? Who? Yeah.
Yeah. So Jackson Dart, I do like the hoodie. I'm not gonna lie, man. Got the half sleeves with the hoodie. Let's go.
Can only wear it in college. You might as well get used to it, right?
I missed the
I'm pretty sure they took that away in the NFL. You can't have it obstructing your name or whatever.
I don't know, man. I'm the Madden Modern community there on PC. They got everything in there, man. We got guys.
Clay, that's a drip.
You can wear the old leatherhead on there if you want, right? It doesn't even matter.
Bro, the stuff they put on there. Somebody did what was the mod they created the other day? It was hilarious. It was the Joe Flacco throwback mod. Joe Flacco is the commissioner, I think. So when you do your draft and it shows Goodell walk up there, it's actually Joe Flacco walking up there to present everything. And they actually have Goodell as a coach in the game, which is hilarious.
Love it.
So he's on the sideline coaching. It's good stuff. So anyway.
We do need to get this Tesla guy on the board. He is not on the big board.
Is that right?
He just caught that 2-point.
throw him in there, man. He's made a couple plays already. I think he was the one that converted on that 3rd and long, right? So throw him on the board. At least put his name in there. That way we can search for him next time and throw some grades up on him for sure. The board just keeps growing, Jake. I usually try to cut it off at like 150 to 200. Last year I broke through 200. This year we're probably going to have 350 people on that.
Perfect.
That's right now there are 483 names on the board.
Jeez, OP.
Yes.
Nice.
Excellent. That's what you want.
So yeah, obviously Jack Best is turning heads there, and I'm with you. I understand what you're saying too, Jake. Like talking about setting a person up for failure, man. 65, 62, then jump to an 83, and
65%.
65%. That's what we. Not quite to the tight end size. He's 6'2", 215, but as you can see, man, he's shredded. That dude.
Thick.
I think he'll be a good pro, but I don't know, man. When you like you said, Jake, when you start talking Puka Nacua, man, it's like,
got to live up to the hype. It's tough.
Definitely. Got a question for you here, Jake. Drew D said, Did anybody stand out to Jake during the Shrine Bowl? We know you were down there at the Senior Bowl, but have you been keeping up with the Shrine Bowl? Anybody stick out to you there?
Yeah, I downloaded the app that they broadcast practices on just to see what I could get from it. Yeah, I mean, obviously Kobe Bryant was excellent. There's no doubt about that. He's probably going to be the one that's most talked about after that week of practice. Marcus Ware was pretty good, even at 298 down there from Montana State. That's the guy I know we're going to be picking a lot these mock drafts on day 3. That's draft, for sure. Yeah, I liked him. I know Elijah Huzzy was a big pretty much a big winner throughout the week at corner. Stayed patient. Another guy who was kind of around the catch point at all times in the 1v1s. And then our Boise State guy that we almost took in the mock earlier this week, Ahmed Hassanian from Boise State, who I know had a pretty big year. He was, I think he had a big game against Penn State. I think he was kind of the only one, getting any pressure on that offensive line, right? The talent discrepancy was there, but yeah, he looked good from what I saw from him. I know Ricky White looked good from UNLV, the receiver, and I'm excited about Konate Mumfield from Pitt at receiver as well. So I'm there were definitely plenty of guys down there. It would have been really cool to see guys like Sanders and Kenneth Grant participate, and obviously Ravel from East Carolina, who was injured and obviously couldn't do it. But Shrine's creeping up there. They're definitely getting some pretty impressive talent on there, with the Kansas corners and all that. So,
yeah, no doubt.
Siobhan Ravel, that was he jumped off the tape doing a little film study on him. He looks like pretty valuable guy to keep an eye on.
Should we comp him to Quinyon?
Man, I'll tell you.
That's what scares me
crazy
about
too,
the
because
comps.
like last year when the Quinyon Mitchell conversation started, there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people. It's small school in the chat everywhere. It's small school. It's a small school. And then you see him at the Senior Bowl, and it's like, okay, now what, right?
He didn't lose against a drill designed for him to lose.
Right.
He didn't lose. Like I don't know what else he needed to really say or do. Honestly, if after that, I wouldn't even show up to the combine and be like, you saw what happened down there. You should pick me.
So Tim, you were asking about Siobhan Ravel, right?
Yeah.
Let's see where we got him on the board. We got him in the 51 spot currently. So his PFF grade last year amongst cornerbacks, 67th, then 31st. And the PFF big board has him in the 30 spot. Consensus big board had him in the 24 spot. And then the 33rd team had him 7th. I was blown away when I seen it. Jake, the 33rd team, Kyle Krabs, had Siobhan Revel Jr. Is it Revel or Ravel?
That's that one. I'm not sure.
Close enough.
I take on those crazy names like our buddy Princely down there a few spots. Yeah. I know that one, but I'm not sure about.
I've really heard it both ways. I said Ravel for the longest time, and then I heard Revel, so I really have no idea.
See if I can find it.
Yeah, and having him in the 7 spot there by Kyle Krabs, that was a whoa moment for me. Like, whoa, really? number 7 overall on Kyle Krabs' board. Is that just me, or is that crazy high, man?
It's different, and
it's different.
You know what? Honestly, like, what do we know? That could be right. In a year, we could be like, man, everybody should have had him that high. So I respect those who trust their eyes, the data, all of that, put that all together, and if you think he's the 7th best prospect, who am I to say that's completely wrong or ludicrous? Really.
Let's do that. Let's take a look at. Let's see who he's got ranked here. So just starting number 1, Kyle Krabs has Travis Hunter, cornerback out of Colorado, Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan's number 2, Ashton Gianti. One thing about it, Ashton Gianti, everybody agrees on. Dude's a damn dog, right? Like, he's the real deal. In the number 4 spot, he's got edge defender Abdul Carter. No surprise there. Mason Graham, defensive lineman out of Michigan, in the 5 spot. Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia's in the 6th spot. DJ has him 33rd, and Kyle Krabs has Malachi Starks 6th overall. Then Shavon Ravel Jr. in the number 7 spot. DJ don't even have him in the top 50. So it seems like Kyle Krabs, he's in love with the DBs this year. You know what I mean? There's a lot of DBs at the top of that list, no doubt. So then he's got Josh Simmons at offensive tackle Will Campbell, edge defender Jalen Walker, which we just changed him to edge. It's amazing when the process started, it was linebacker. Now all of a sudden it's edge. I don't know how you feel about him, Jake. We've got him a little bit lower. If we sort by average here, I'm going to show you where we have him. I want to get your take on Jalen Walker because we do have him quite a bit lower than most people do. We've got him in the 34 spot. And the main reason being is PFF was not nice to him at 242nd, then 227th at his position. The PFF big board had him at 34. The consensus big board had him at 16. So it's his PFF grades that's dragging him down. Obviously, everybody's anticipating him to measure and test really, really well at the combine. What do you think about Jalen Walker? Do you see him more as an edge, more as a linebacker? I went ahead and switched him to edge because everything I was seeing, everybody was kind of shifting to edge.
Yeah, it's always these like, he's a hybrid player on defense. It's always so weird when you try this. Like Zaven Collins was like that. Like, he's linebacker, he's edge. I don't know. Isaiah Simmons is a big one. Like, he's gonna play safety, he's gonna play linebacker. And it's like, well, if you don't find a spot, it's gonna be pretty difficult.
Tariq Carpenter all over again.
There are definitely some, like, it took who's the shoot. He played with Philly. He's played with Philly. Oh man, I forget. He wasn't drafted by them. He was drafted by Arizona. Now
you're talking about the guy that everybody was saying this guy's a Sam. He's a Sam. Like, bro, this is not 1998. The Sam backer is totally different now.
Yeah.
Like, they were. I'm trying to think. It wasn't Dean. Who was the guy that Philly took that was supposed to be? I remember Michael Lombardi ranting over him, going, "This guy, he's not what everybody thinks he is." Let me see here real quick. That would have been the 2023 draft class, I think. Am I thinking?
Oh, you're talking about Nolan Smith?
It might have been Nolan Smith.
Okay.
Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, I think it was. Nolan Smith.
Okay.
Draft class.
Oh man. Oh, Reddick is the one I'm thinking of too.
Oh, Hashan Reddick.
He was like 6'1", 230, and it's like, well, is he playing linebacker or edge? And Arizona couldn't figure it out. Philly did eventually,
right?
Because they're really good at figuring this out. They played Bond at linebacker, and he's a revelation. But it sometimes is difficult for teams to be like, if I don't know where you're going to play, how do I approach this defensively? Now, when I see Walker, I think you see like the speed of Cooper, right, running around at linebacker. Like, walk him up to the line, blitz, have him win as a rusher, have him chase as kind of your will further off the ball linebacker. Edge seems a little bit too much to me. I think I would play him at linebacker and kind of do exactly what Hafley has done with Cooper, right, this past year, and just give him a lot of those opportunities to blitz, to rush, and to run in space as much as possible.
Got it. John Schultz here in the chat was asking Tim, anyone know who number 17 in White is playing D line? Who do you got there, Tim? That's a national team.
Ja Joyner out of Minnesota. He's an edge, 6'5", 265.
Ooh.
PFF's got him at 164, the 143rd best edge. Graded out at a 76.7 last year.
He jumped way up their big board. Or you said 164 for the year? Or
yeah, they got him ranked on their big board at 164.
He was at 205 when I got him in.
You see how it changes, Emilio? Wow. Nobody's played any football, but boy, he just all of a sudden
yeah.
This is another thing I'm working on currently is who, if trying to go back to like consensus big boards, who's jumping the most from January to April when there's no football?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Is that good usually?
right.
Or is it all hype? Yeah.
Because like again, I think the Mitchell thing, he was already in the 30s, right? So it wasn't like, oh, it's this massive one coming out of nowhere. Everybody was pretty much in on it. It was kind of like, all right, the final test, let's see it against the guys down in Mobile who are all Power 5, passes that test. Okay, great, you're locked in. It's more of like hey, this is a third rounder and they're going to push to first round between, January and April. Those are always, and those are some strange things.
Yeah, and that's why I err on the side of I want the information earlier rather than later, because every other board that we look at, like we can pull up the consensus big board the day of the draft. We can pull up the PFF big board the day of the draft, but I want a board that was created based off of what did we see on the field, like when the season wraps up, give it a week or two so everybody can kind of, if they're, hey, I need a little more time to throw my opinion in. All right, cool. Now let's grab the consensus big board. Now let's grab the PFF big board. And our board kind of comes across as more of a what happened on the field as opposed to look at the hype created. So that's kind of the reason we did that. We got Jai Joyner sitting in the 249 spot, right, Emilio? So that's what you were talking about. We actually have him at 205 on the PFF big board, and that will stay the same on our board. We don't want to be swayed there. Now, obviously, he's well outside of the top 50 for Daniel Jeremiah and outside of the top 100 for Kyle Krabs. So we'll see what happens there. Jake, do you got a favorite draft guy that you say, hey, I really trust his ability to, to analyze players, to actually rank players? Do you have somebody that you like the most? Because it seems like Ryan, I could be wrong. Ryan's favorite guy is Dane Brugler, it feels like. I feel comfortable saying that, right? He's a big Dane Brugler guy.
That's where I land as well, because I think so. I think someone put it in the comments that Krabs isn't really tuned into the league. To be honest, I don't want the league's opinion. I want you to form yours, right? I don't want like, oh, the league thinks this guy's a first rounder because he's a quarterback or something like that. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I know DJ is sometimes doing that, but I do think DJ has still the scout's eye of how to evaluate players. And he does a good job with that. But I do like the fact that Brugler is kind of like, okay, this is how I view the prospects. And then also I'm going to come over here to the other side and tell you what the league is doing. But I'm keeping those two things very separate in terms of like what I see versus what the league is telling me.
Yeah, exactly. And, the thing I really like to lean on is I love the 33rd team because I love how they've constructed that website. It's all football people, Yeah. And I was doing a little research on Kyle Krabs, and I was a little hesitant to include him this year. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. He's covered the draft for quite some time, and I know the 33rd team wouldn't have him as their lead draft guy if they didn't think he knew what the heck he was talking about. In 33rd team, it's pretty cool watching people eat crow because the folks that were bashing, they don't know anything, and then next thing you know, we've got NFL teams using them as consultants, basically to, hey, go get us some information on a hire or whatever. So, really like their website. I hate that they changed things up last year and took away all the schematic approach of, hey, here's what teams are doing, personnel, defensive calls, all that stuff. So we had to run it down a different direction. They had it so nice and neat last year, but still got the info, so it don't matter. But
I think their big, like everybody's big thing is they're always gonna point out the misses and the whiffs from everybody and say, oh, they're not legit. Like, guess what? show me what you got. You never missed. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't buy that at all. So.
Exactly. Yep. Every GM misses.
Yeah.
Every GM misses.
You can love the run that Goody's on and also acknowledge the fact that like 2018 minus Ja wasn't great. 2021's not looking good. Like, it happens. Yep. How do you respond after that? Right. Goody's done a phenomenal job responding since 2021.
Yeah.
So
no doubt. All right. So 2 minutes left in the second quarter. It's all tied up 8-8 here. Anybody stood out to anybody that's not named Jaden Higgins as we were catching a couple clips here? I know, Emilio, you mentioned another receiver, right? And who was it?
Isaac?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually got a number for him. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Real time addition to the board.
Real time board making. We love this.
Yeah. Tesla, right?
Tesla, yeah. Arkansas. Let's go.
He is Arkansas. Yep. He had a rough grade in 23, PFF 24. He was 305th, so dropped him in at 305 average. Sort that real quick for us.
Got you right here.
Our boy Tesla is 377. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Got himself a spot on the board. Hey, we'll take it. I mean, at least you got on the board, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that PFF grade is rough, right? 706 and 305. Obviously, no other.
But he's not popping up. He didn't pop up on the Reese's Bowl roster, and he didn't. He's not on the big board of either of them. So the only grade we have to work with is his 24 PFF.
Got it. So he's not even on the consensus big board, and they go way down, right?
Correct. So I mean, he might be on. I just looked at the Senior Bowl roster, so maybe let me double check the big board again for just.
I'm looking right now.
Okay.
PFF's got him at 231.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Throw it in there, Emilio. Let's do it. Do it
on the big board, Tim. 231.
Yep, 231 on their big board. 305th overall receiver.
Well, let's resort that because my man just jumped again here.
Yep. Graded out at a 69.2 for
335. I mean, dude is just making a name for himself up this board. He had no number.
Wait, he's moving up in January though? We are playing football.
Like was just talking about.
We are playing football.
Don't get your hopes up here.
They said he's Tesla and he drives a Tesla. Move him up the board.
He's 728 on the consensus big board, Emilio. Put it in.
Oh boy.
Put it in. What's this? All that bragging you just did.
Wow, drops. Sorry, Tesla. Let's resort it one more time, bud. 421 is average jump to. He has now lost himself. 100 spots. He dropped down to 439. This poor guy has just had a roller coaster of emotion on our board.
Oh no, we suck again.
Made a lot of money and then lost a lot of money in a matter of 15 seconds.
You might get that -5 depending on the performance, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Sound like Jacob over at the Oval Office with some scratch outs. You know what I mean? You win a little, you lose. That's the way it works. So. Johnny B in the chat says, what do you think about Malachi Moore from Alabama as a slot defender? Similar
Roll Tide. Give me some of that.
Ooh, strip sack.
You got anything on him, Jake, right off the bat? If not, we'll PFF and everything up here.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've tried to give him, I think, a few safety reps now and again, but he does seem like truly a slot defender in terms of. I think he had kind of so it is true. Yeah, he kind of had a down year last year and bounced back according to PFF. And I kind of remember him kind of deciding on the draft last year, and it clearly decided against it, came back to Bama, and according to PFF, put up together a better year. But yeah, I think he's probably strictly a slot defender.
Got it. Tim, you got anything there in terms of snaps? For Malachi Moore.
Kind of what Jake's mentioning. 180 in the slot last year, 468 slot snaps in 23. Played in the box 219 times last year. He's even got 37 D line snaps. So clearly they bring him up there. Little safety blitz action here and there. And I think to Johnny's point, and just like Jake said, probably a little similar to Javon Bullard, a guy you can probably play deep, but would probably prefer to be in the slot. And I think he's an interesting guy to look at, could provide some depth behind Bullard. I mean, there's a handful of corners that we feel are slot corners, but like we were talking about earlier, they're probably going to go early in the draft. So if you're looking to add value beyond those first and second rounds, you may need to look at safeties if you're looking for a slot guy.
Yeah, and we've got he improved every year. We're only showing here on the screen 22 and 23. No, there it is. Emilio's got it now. 22, 23. He grabbed my mind here. Went from 498 in 22 to 123 and then to 31. So he's gotten better every year. His PFF grades were 66, 77, then 85. Like Tim pointed out, you got those slot snaps at 180 in 2023, 468 in the slot. Coverage grade 89.4, right? If I'm looking at the right guy here, Malachi Moore, make sure. Yep. 89.4 coverage grade. Forced incompletion rate of 23.3%. Missed tackle rate of 6.8%. His average depth of run tackle pretty bad there at 10.9. Of course, he's playing safety. That's really interesting prospect there, man. That kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but that kind of feels like a Katano Ladapo type there. I could be wrong. He's not
what I was thinking.
He's not that big, though. He's only, 6 foot 201. But just kind of on the surface going, man, this dude got better every year.
And he was at a big school. This isn't a small school guy. So you're getting that, that later round kind of draft value, but knowing that he played against some legit, competition.
Yeah, right. Let's sort it by position here, Emilio, and see where he comes in amongst the safeties. Malachi Morris, who we're looking for from Bama, right? Obviously played for a big school.
Got a pick.
There you go. So you got Malachi Starks as the top safety, then Xavier Watts. This is according to our board, guys. You may disagree. That's totally cool. Xavier Watts, number 2. Nick Emenware, number 3. Andrew Makuba. Who was the pick there? I just got it now, Tim. You're ahead of me. That's
Caleb Ran. What is his name? Ransaw? Tulane.
Sick name.
It is. I do like that Tulane helmet. I don't know why, man. The baby blue with the green splash on it. Let's go, man. So Andrew Makuba, safety out of Texas, is our 4th best safety. At number 5, you got Kevin Winston Jr. 6, we got Lathan Ransom. And then number 7, we got Malachi Moore. So he's a little bit, obviously a little bit lower. So, and who did you say just got that pick? Was that a safety or a corner, fellas?
Caleb Ransaw. I believe he's a safety, but
yeah, here we go. Yeah, he's significantly lower on our board. We got a 326 grade on him, Emilio.
PFF has no grade on him. He's not even on their board.
Yeah, we got a bunch of NAs, that's for sure, man. The only thing we have was a consensus big board at 326. That's it. So we'll see about getting him some more information.
I mean, he's no Upton Stout out of Western Kentucky or anything.
Amen.
Hey,
how about to that?
Who is this Oladipo here, boys? Is this a typo, or do we have an Oladipo this year, man? Somebody give me some Home Depot music here. Look at this. Who is this right here? Is that a typo?
I remember tossed him in there.
Let's go, man. Get the first Home Depot drop of the day. Crank it up. Give me some Here You Go here. Here we go, 210. I need the whole thing here, man. I don't think Jake's experienced this yet.
Get ready to go.
Oh, man.
Ball. Just the tip. Get ready to go.
Man.
What time's going to come my press conference late? No block, no rock.
Perfect.
I love the no block, no rock with that music for sure. That's what
Put it on loop. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about.
What do you think if Matt ever somehow listened to our show and just saw us cutting him up to a Home Depot music and just his one-liners in the presser?
I'm pretty sure he would say something like,
"Sit your butt outside."
Yeah.
I'll just say this.
Right. Yeah.
If Matt LaFleur ever finds himself watching our show, his marriage probably fell apart. He's probably got some extra time on his hand. I would imagine. Oh, this show sucks so bad. So bad. All right. What else is going on in the chat? Anybody being productive in there? Philip Rude, not Stance Mix. There you go.
Depot and Dapo building a Dr. Seuss team.
Oh, man.
Love it. All right, 21 seconds left. Looks like they're trying to score here in the middle late. It's tied 8-8, and the American team has the ball right now. Let's do a little play-by-play here, gents. Probably Tim's way ahead of me now after the commercials, I'm sure. So funny how that works. All right, let's see. What's the call here? Really like the hat there from Cleveland. How do you guys feel about Brownie the Elf in Cleveland, by the way? I like that logo, too.
That. Yeah, it's
got like a 1940s feel to it or something, doesn't it?
Almost like the old Packers one. Which one was that? With the Yeah.
Oh, the Acme. Yeah, with the
Heisman.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need to bring that back once in a while.
Bro, I told you, I've got the patch already. I'm going to get me an Edgerrin Cooper white jersey, and I'm going to have that patch put on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Just to mix it up a little bit here.
There we go.
So here we go, Jackson Dart. Drop back to pass.
Oh, we running.
Draw. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Call a timeout. Just try to steal 10 yards. Is that what it was, Jake?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Clock's running.
Get everybody dropping way back, right? Your linebackers dropping back. I think it's a pass. Yeah, I think so.
So we're not even playing. We're
not calling timeout.
What are we doing?
Why do you even run that?
Jake,
buddy, you got 2 timeouts.
This is unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, that coach is getting demoted. Cleveland said, "I've seen enough."
That's crazy. Like, why not take?
What are we doing?
This is what I don't get about it. Exactly, man. Like, take that situation right there and put yourself. You give yourself an opportunity to see what these players can do, trying to get in field goal range right before halftime. To me, that's vital information.
Gosh, he's a special teams coordinator. He didn't want them to kick before half.
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly what it was.
Come on. They practice so much kicking all week. Man. That's frustrating. That is frustrating.
All right. We're at halftime. Again, score's tied 8-8. Got a couple people sticking out here. What I want to do real quick, though, if it's all right with you guys, let's do our giveaway right now. That way, when we've had enough of this sucky show here, we'll just wrap up. Let's go ahead and get this ready. It looks a little bit different today. Let me see if I can zoom in just a touch.
We're going to fire up the pinky wheel.
How about these hands?
Pinky wheel ready to go a moment. Let's see here. Where are we at? All right. Here's the Larry McCarron pinky wheel. Everybody in the Patreon group is on this, all right, as well as our YouTube members too, okay? This is for the Dorsey Levens autograph jersey. What we're going to do is we're going to hit shuffle. How many times should we hit shuffle, guys? We got 120 entrants here. Anyone but A-Fan, Boz says. All right, so let's go ahead and remove him from the list here. Jake, you're the guest. You're the guest here today. How many times should we hit shuffle so Eric Sutherland, even though he's going to say it's rigged anyway, we know it's not?
So what's the most you've shuffled before?
We keep it under 10.
Yeah,
okay.
Please keep it under 10 for mine.
All right, I'll say 4.
I like it.
4.
We're going to do 4. So we're going to go 4 shuffles here. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. We good?
You think God never farted?
Somebody in the chat, just say a number between 1 and 10 right now. I don't want to be accused of this being rigged ever again.
Yeah, of course. We asked Jake, just pick a number between 1 and 10. It was all part of the plan.
6. Prince says 6, yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Which doubles base is 3. I like it.
Some of that awesome shampoo down there, too, by the way. Sponsor the show, whatever brand that was. We're going 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's spin it. Let's see who wins the autographed Dorsey Levens jersey here.
No whammies, no whammies.
And the winner is, first place winner, of course, is Mr. David James.
Okay.
David James, we have a winner. All right, so David James is the first place winner of the autographed Dorsey Levens jersey.
Right.
So we'll go David James. All right, we're going to spin it 2 more times in case David James is in the clink or something. All right, he's not free to claim his prize. Let's spin it again. If we don't hear from David James, the winner of the autographed Dorsey Levens jersey is Mr. Jarrell Lee. Wow.
Nice. Let's go.
Ready to go.
All right. And, of course, if we don't hear from Jarrell Lee, let's spin it 1 more time. We've learned this the hard way, Jake. You got to have 3 winners because these knuckleheads won't come forward and get their prize. Yeah. They just want to support the show.
I just caught the ball.
Andrew Matson. All right.
Take it down the side.
All right. So the winner of the Dorsey Levens jersey is David James. If we don't hear from David James, it will go to Jarrell Lee. If we don't hear from Jarrell Lee, it'll go to Andrew Matson. If we don't hear from Andrew Matson, we'll still call out Eric Sutherland for accusing us of rigging this thing. Okay?
There you go.
All right. Good deal. What else we want to hit on here, gents? It's halftime. Anything at the forefront of anybody's mind? We could always throw together a mock draft too.
Yes. Well,
bust out.
Well,
I don't think Jake's going to argue about having a mock draft.
I've got a couple minutes though. We'd have to go rapid.
All right,
fire.
let's do a rapid fire, and we'll peel out.
Rapid fire.
I'm going to run after this. Let's do a quick mock.
All right, cool. Let's do it. Give me just a second. Let's set it
No
up.
trade backs, or are we trading back?
No,
I don't know if that is in the spirit of rap.
we are sticking and picking on this turbo draft here.
Okay.
We will never make
And
it.
we are building the trenches. We're
Fair
building
enough.
a wall for Jay Love, and we're going to build a wall for Jeff Halfley.
There you go.
Actually, it's going to be for Coop, but
We're just taking Jaden Higgins with the first pick. It's all good.
Emilio knows he's got a bomby time.
You're going to take 2 receivers, Tim? We're going receiver after we take
no,
Golden?
we're going Scattaboo.
Take Golden?
The only offensive threat we're taking is Scattaboo.
Someone said Scattaboo would be the first overall pick in 1968, and I think that's very accurate.
It's so true.
It was a super good tweet.
We're going all 7 rounds, no trading. All right, no trading. Let's get to it, boys. As we start the draft, we're going turbo speed. It's turbo time.
Tim, did you watch the mock on Wednesday?
I did.
Okay. I was going to ask you thoughts on that,
100%
but-
just Angus beef on the team. That's all.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of that mock. Yes.
We went right to the back of the meat section in Kroger's, Clay, and we're just like, I'll take everything on the shelf.
We really did. We did.
Cleaned them out.
All right, let's throw the needs up here, okay? We're going to go wide receiver. We're going to go O-tackle. We're going interior offensive line, corner. We're going to throw D-line up there. We'll throw edge, too, because people want to see it. And
Loveland
linebacker.
still there?
Who is it?
Said, is Loveland still there?
Yeah, here we go again, right?
Close
We
to
will
the
never know, Jake. We will never know.
All right. That's
The best
probably
prospect
that's
on the
probably
board
for the
here
best.
is Jack Sawyer. He's average draft positions 24.4. We're drafting 23rd, edge defender out of Ohio State. Second is Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman out of Michigan. Wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas. Gray Zabel, tackle out of North Dakota State. So he's there. We've been talking about this. He's creeping up on the first round. What are we thinking here, gents?
I vote Kenneth Grant, Michigan.
Yeah, it's either Grant or Zabel for me.
All right. So it's between Grant and Zabel for them. Jake, what are you thinking here? You want to see a specific position? You want me to scroll down? Anything at all here, man?
Jake's muted because he's just so mad that we're not taking a wide receiver.
That's exactly what it is. I'm not sure if he knows he's muted. He's spilling his guts right now. Jake, you're muted, sir.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
on the phone. He's on the
He's
phone.
got a phone call.
He's on a business call.
Stop
He's actually on the phone with the agent right now, trying to see if we're gonna pull Grant.
He's saying, I don't know why they're not taking Matthew Golden. I don't understand.
He said, "I'm going to get them to do a
On the
mock draft,
horn.
and I'm going to fake a phone. I'm going to fake a phone call so I can get out of here."
I do have to run.
There it
But
is.
I will put my vote in for Matthew Golden in the first.
I knew
No.
it. There it
I will
is.
put my vote in there. But
Get out of here, Jake.
that's
You think-
okay. The trenches, I'll be excited to see how this turns out when I watch it back. So
All right.
all right.
Appreciate
Take
you,
care,
Jake. Thank you for your
guys.
time, man.
Thanks,
yeah,
Jake.
of course.
See you,
ya.
man.
All right. That was Jake Shavink. All right. Let's get to it. Gray Zabel or Kenneth Grant? Emilio, do you have our board handy by
I
chance?
do. Grant is our man, if that's the case. If that's what you're asking, he is 10th.
10th. And Zabel is, he's like, what, around 30 or so? Actually, he fell a little bit further, didn't he?
Zabel dropped. Yeah, our boy Zabel is.
And that's even with the bonus,
60,
too.
60. Yeah, he dropped to 60th. So it's got to be Grant.
Got to be Grant. Let's do it. We're going Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman out of Michigan with the 23rd pick. All right, now we're up on the clock. Pick 55. There's Jalen Walker. Look at that, boys. So here's what we got. Best available is Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia. Obviously, got a little bit of hybrid in him too there. Jake, was kind of talking. He could probably play him like Edgerrin Cooper. Caleb Johnson, halfback out of Iowa. Jaden Higgins, ever heard that name before, out of Iowa State, wide receiver. Then you got Donovan Jackson, tackle out of Ohio State. Jordan Birch, edge defender out of Oregon. And then tackle Cameron Williams. So we're going to take D tackle off the list now. We're going to go wide receiver. We're going to go O tackle, interior offensive line. We'll go cornerback. We'll go safety. We'll throw edge up there just for craps and giggles. And here are the best prospects available. Tim, who is your
You don't even have to ask me. So you just start with Emilio. You already know what I'm going to say.
And look at the average draft position, 54.9, and we're picking 55th. That's wild. But if we were to go off our board here, Emilio, who's the best available of these? And I can pick any position, man.
Let's see.
Everybody's saying Higgins in the chat, boy.
Yeah, they really are. Walker would be our 34th. Higgins is in the 60s, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, he is 60. 68. So right now it's Walker, and then we got Donovan and Birch. Birch was in the 60s as well. He was 79. And then the last guy we have, honestly, the only other one I would want. No, I think I'm going Tim on this one. I mean, where we're at kind of wise, the only other one would be Jalen Walker, but he's really like an edge kind of power speed rusher more than, I mean, he can stack obviously, but more of a 3-4 look.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at the big board here, man.
Eric says no more Georgia players unless Philly picks them for us.
There you go. That makes sense.
we're going to give him some.
Let's see if there's anybody else down here. I don't see anyone other than Charles. Charles Grant was significantly lower too, though, right? So,
yeah.
Trey Harris is it's a wide receiver name. I get him and Amos mixed up all the time.
If we're taking a receiver with this pick, it's got to be Jaden Higgins. Come on now.
Oh, it's got to be. Yeah. I mean, he's the best receiver on our board right now, right, Emilio?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So it comes down to
do we think, Donovan Jackson's kind of, we talked about O-line, right? We talked about trench depth. I mean, I don't know how high. Where's Donovan Jackson on our board? Emilio.
He is 56th.
Okay.
So he's 56, and Jalen Walker is where again?
He was 33rd.
30. Yeah, we got him 34th is what I'm showing.
Or 34th, yeah.
Jalen Walker would hands down be the guy we would take here if we were going off our board. But like Tim's talking about with wide receiver, if you don't take Higgins there, let's look at these other receivers. Jalen Royals, I don't know how much lower he is, Emilio.
He's
88th on the board, right?
Yeah.
To me,
88th.
Yeah.
The only other wide receivers that are above would be above Higgins would be Restrepo, Trey Harris, and Matthew Golden are the only other ones technically above just based on their PFF grades and kind of their average. But
now, if you don't go Higgins here, you're probably looking at, that secondary crop, the Pat Bryant. We talked about him out of Illinois.
Yep.
He may be on the board a little later. You got Nick Nash out of San Jose State. It's another guy that would be available.
I do like Higgins here, man. The problem is we need that size speed threat. And I mean, every team I was listening to Install or Russ Tucker, one of them was talking like the Titans just don't have a vertical physical threat. They don't have that kind of speed. It's like every team needs something that can push the defense, push that shell out.
Right. Yep. Yeah. For me, Jalen Walker, how would you use Jalen Walker, right? Are you going to start him over Quay? No, that's not going to happen.
And he's more of an edge. He really is.
Right. And it's like, and again, when he's kind of an edge, what are we doing here? Are we going to take Rashawn Gary OVN off the field to try out a what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
a project there at edge? I'm going Jaden Higgins here. I'm with you, boys. Let's do it. So we're going Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State.
I love it, man. Beautiful.
His receiving is tough.
So now we don't have to hit wide receiver. So we're just going to switch it up and go O-tackle, interior offensive line. We'll throw corners up there, and let's throw edge and linebacker. So the best available is showing Marcus Imbo, right? Is that how you say it?
We just watched him with that kick step.
Yep. Where is he at on the
70th?
70. So we got 70 there. Tate Ratledge. Let's see what Tate is.
He is 57th.
Ooh, okay, so right now it's Tate Ratledge at 57. Let's see, Mello Dotson, Kobe Bryant.
Mello is 141. Kobe is 187.
Mm-hmm. Just taking a gander here. There's Kaiser, Zy Alexander. Yeah, this kind of feels like a no-brainer, doesn't it, man? This feels like This feels like it should be Tate Ratledge, right?
Yep.
Average draft position's 85th. We're getting him at 87. And again, on our board, where's he at, Emilio?
Tate is,
57th. I got it.
Yes.
57th. So, Tim, do you have any pushback on this pick right here? Tate Ratledge, guard out of Georgia. Obviously, a 69, 76, and a 74. He is mostly a right guard, so you'll probably try to turn him into an interior, obviously an interior offensive line there. Might try to play him a little left guard from time to time too. It's going to give you that depth we talked about, right? Yep. In this scenario, you're probably kicking Elton over to center in that scenario, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's why I got no pushback at all. As long as we don't think we're going to turn him into a center, you know.
We click on Mimbo real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. 71, 70, and 73. He's strictly a right tackle, other than 2022 where he played right guard.
Yeah, I mean, you see a little bit more high highs out of him, but a couple more lower lows, and just the pass blocking grade isn't quite as strong. I think it's got to be Tate there coming from an SEC.
What about the other guy out of Mizzou, the tackle?
Oh, he's gone.
He's off the board already.
Yeah,
Armand Membo.
Yeah, Armand. Yeah, he was nice though. He's like 30s, I think.
Yeah,
I'd be good with Tate. I like Tate there.
Let's just go offensive line here. See if there's another name like Jared Wilson. Where's Jared Wilson on our board, Emilio? Roughly, because he's going much later at 143. That's wild.
He is 97.
Okay, got it. Tyler Cooper, Jonathan Monheim. What about Monheim? Why do I feel like that name was kind of high?
Tyler Cooper's 158 and Monheim
87 for Monheim. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Ratledge is our guy, fellas. Let's do it. Let's pull the trigger. We're going to go Tate Ratledge, guard out of Georgia, and bolster that offensive line with the 87th pick there. All right. So now at pick 123, let's look at corner first alone. There's Quincy Riley. You got Elijah Huzzle. You got Denzel Burke, Dorian Strong, O'Donnell Fortune. Any of those names catch anybody's attention?
I'm honestly good with waiting. I'd take like Fentrell, Cypress back then. I mean, Fortune later on. You got a couple of shots later. I mean, I really think that if we slide from corner, we're going to just try to pull a late one.
Yeah. Let me see where we've got Riley at here. Quincy Riley, if I can find him.
Or do you try and get a slot here and put safety on that board too? Look at some of those slot safety type of guys.
We got Quincy Riley way down the board. So, all right, let's add to this. And we're not out of the offensive line woods yet, right? So let's continue to throw those guys up there because I think we could use as many as three. Yeah. Let's throw edge. Let's throw linebacker up there.
Throw another D-line in there for fun.
You want to?
Yeah. I'm all about bringing in the talent.
All right, best available according to PFF is Jack Kaiser, linebacker out of Notre Dame. I want to say we had him around the 100 mark.
Yep, 104.
All right, so he's 104. Joshua Farmer, we talked a little bit about him. Yeah, he's way up. Where is he?
281.
Yeah, he's way down our board, but Daniel Jeremiah said he really flashed this week.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Lunt.
84.
There's a guy, the tackle out of UConn.
Yep.
That guy's a unit, man.
You say 84, is that right?
Yep.
All right.
6'8", 305, big dog.
Man, we were really going trenches here, aren't we? This is wild. Who else we got here? Anybody else? We're linked to Aeneas Peebles. Where do we have him at?
I like him.
Yeah.
He's 103. I really like him. We've met with him, and he's out of Tech, but he passed 23 and 24. He was 13th and 7th, respectively, in PFF. So, I mean, dude's a dog. The only thing bringing him down are the big boards.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're thinking tackle here, right? Out of Connecticut? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning toward. I like his numbers.
Great, man. That's solid.
Yeah. There's a guy.
He's strictly a right tackle, but you know how the Packers, they like to take – listen.
He can play right tackle. Zach Tom can go to center. I don't care at this point.
We had this conversation all the time, though, like last year, remember? It's, well, does he have versatility? Does he have versatility? Then we took a guy who only played left tackle his entire career and put him at right guard. So
the only thing with him as a right tackle, though, it's that Caleb Jones factor. This guy is 6'8". This is a tall drink of water for a right-handed quarterback to be, steering through his progression. That's a big, tall feller over in your line of sight there.
All right, let's do it. Riley Mills is pretty far down, right, Emilio? And it would have to make it'd have to make a lot of sense, man, to take another defensive line.
He is 235.
All right, we're going to go Chase Lunt, tackle out of Connecticut. Anybody opposed?
Nope.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to hold off on offensive line for a little bit. I feel like we already took two swings there. We got to really key in on corner, right?
Yep.
And we'll throw edge back up there, linebacker for sure. And let's do D-line again one more time. So R.J. Oben out of Notre Dame at edge. You got C.J. West, defensive lineman out of Indiana. You got Cody Simon, linebacker out of Ohio State. Why am I thinking we had a decent grade on him? And you also got Lindenberg here as well.
Cody Simon, 148.
Okay. And then Lindenberg.
Denzel Burke, 192.
There's a guy.
And Lindenberg, we got, 291. So far, it's Cody Simon, right?
Hey, do we? I know this sounds crazy, but do we have tight end up there on our?
That's a good question. I don't think it's too crazy to.
Yeah, I don't think it's just to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Stutzman, that linebacker out of Indiana, is 101 for us. Or I'm sorry, Oklahoma's 101 for us.
Oklahoma, right here, Stutzman.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he have like a big week here too? Am I thinking?
Yeah, he blew up. Yeah, he. They thought he was going to be real good this year, and I think he ended up being great, but just not super high. But his coverage grade is the issue I have with him.
Yeah, absolute cheeks there. But he's highest on our board, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Oh, C.J. West. We met with C.J. West too. I wouldn't mind that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PFF. He's a dog. Look at that, Tim. 80, 85, 83 out of Indiana. Holy cow! Where's he on our board?
2 seconds. West. 113. So I'm good with that. He's consistent. PFF 22, 69, 23, 14, 24, 21. So
here's the guy.
To me, it's between him and Simon, because Simon, that coverage grade, run defense grade, we already went defensive line. Look at that run defense grade, 90.8.
Give me CJ.
Yeah.
CJ? Okay. All right, we're going CJ West, defensive lineman out of Indiana. Boy, we double dipped on the big dogs up front.
Trench warfare, baby.
Yeah, we're good. We got 2 and 2, right?
Absolutely. And look who's here now, boys. Mr. Jay Higgins.
There we go.
Where do we have Higgins at? I need to know.
Jay is 98th.
Yeah. What a dog.
Might as well just draft him now.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just take Jay Higgins.
Yeah, let's go.
Makes a lot of sense. Again, I want to say Jalen Walker we liked a lot too. 90, 80, and 82. Jalen Walker, pretty good grade, I would imagine. I'm not sure where they got him. It's Jailin.
There it is.
Yeah.
So I was trying to 147.
All right, we're going Jay Higgins here, boys. That's a name that keeps popping up for us.
Yep.
Yep.
Every time we draft. All right, we're going linebacker Jay Higgins out of Iowa.
Nice. Now we're going to pull the trigger on our corner.
7th round, right? We waited till the last pick.
All part of the plan.
Yeah. So you got Tommy Hill, Mac McWilliams, Shamari Simmons, Jabbar Muhammad, and B.J. Adams. Which one of those guys, Emilio? I'll start from the bottom. You start at the top. Let's list them off here, man.
Okay. So you got Tommy.
B.J.
Tommy Hill, Nebraska. We have him at 252.
All right.
Mac McWilliams, we have him at 245.
All right. B.J. Adams is 366. So right now it's that one. Who'd you just say? Mac McWilliams?
The first one, Tommy Hill.
Okay, Tommy Hill.
And Shamari Simmons is 324. So Tommy Hill's our boy.
Tommy Hill out of Nebraska.
I would
average draft position 167.2. His rank is 256. PFF grade. That's the Jaden Reed effect there. 60
wait, time out. What was
I thought the second.
Let me look real quick because Jabbar Muhammad 215. Tommy Hill's 252, so it's actually Jabbar. And it wasn't Mac. So it's actually going to be Jabbar on our board, not Tommy Hill.
Well, what are we looking for though? Are we looking slot or we want a guy on the boundary? Because if we're thinking slot, I like Simmons out of Arizona State.
At this point, I think you just got to go with the best available because we really neglected it. You know what I mean? Like,
go back to the other guy. I was just looking at forced incompletions. We've got 12 and 5 coverage stops. Okay, go to Tommy real quick.
All right.
Forced incompletions 1, coverage stops 7. So our other guy's getting his hands on the ball a lot more. But Jabbar had 12 breakups and completions. Tommy only had 1.
Yeah.
So this dude's a cover corner. I mean, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, we play a lot of zone. 81.4 zone grade, coverage grade 80.3, pretty solid there.
I think that's our guy. I'm gonna put my ticket in for Jabbar.
All right, what do you think, Tim? You said more of a slot though, right? What you were thinking?
No, I'm thinking like if we're going best available, then like I'm kind of leaning towards Jabbar too. Plus, be nice to bump into his buddy Evan Williams too in the back.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah, and really no lows. I mean, on his grades, really not.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, his lowest was what, a 60 something. So
I like Muhammad first, and then probably Simmons, and then Hill. But that's just me.
There you go. We got defensive lineman Kenneth Grant with the 23rd pick. Then we went wide receiver in the second round, Jaden Higgins. PFF loved that, by the way. Round 3, pick 87, you went guard Tate Ratledge. Round 4, 123, you went offensive tackle Chase Lunt out of Connecticut. Round 5, pick 160, we went defensive lineman CJ West. Round 6, 199, we went linebacker Jay Higgins. And then round 7, pick 251, we went Jabbar Muhammad out of Oregon, cornerback. So PFF gave us a B there, boys. Not bad.
Nice. We'll take it.
Yeah. Just a little rapid-fire mock draft there for the folks. Love doing that stuff. The thing that sticks out to me about that draft there, and maybe a situation we could find ourselves in, is obviously corner. Again, if you don't do it, man, I'm telling you, if you don't do it like in the second or third round, you find yourself going, oh, crap, we're in trouble. And when you do multiple mock drafts, it makes you think, okay, maybe we need to be aggressive in free agency with corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it even before the roster cuts, the cap casualties that are going to occur. It's just a matter of time. We've got 3 corners in free agency. Carlton Davis out of Detroit, who had a 74.5. He's 28 years old. Byron Murphy out of Minnesota, 27 years old, had a 73.4. And then DJ Reed of the New York Jets, 28 years old, had a 70.7. Somebody had tweeted the other day, and they had tagged me in it, or somebody had tagged me in a tweet about how he played really, really well against dominant wide receivers. DJ Reed did this year. I want to say it was like Justin Jefferson and a couple other guys. It was like he really shut them down. So DJ Reed is one of those dudes that's kind of hovering, no doubt about it. So
I'm out, fellas. Good draft. Good Senior Bowl, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Have a good day, buddy.
Fire up the car bed, brother.
Oh, you know it. I'll see you, fellas.
See you, man.
See ya.
All right. And then there was 2, Tim. We'll get ready to wrap up
guys.
in a second. Yeah, we'll wrap up here in a second, but just wanted to kind of run through a little mock draft there to kill a little time while we were at halftime. We're in the second half now, obviously. It's so cool to see the NFL coaches on the sideline with those college players too, Tim. You know they're getting coached up all week long, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love that they wear their protein gear too, just so that little extra pressure onto the kids. They know who they're playing in front of. It's a reminder. You want to impress, you want to get drafted, you better do it for the coaches today.
No doubt. Who let's get an update on who's playing quarterback right now for the national team. Who is the quarterback right now? The number is 18, I think it is. Yeah, Tim.
Taylor Elgersma.
Yeah.
Elgersma. Taylor Elgersma.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll pull the consensus big board up here and see if we can see what everybody is thinking about. Actually, let's go PFF big board. Probably be a little bit better. Some of these guys are not going to be on their board. I promise you that. But
yeesh. Oh, there he is. He's on the screen now. They just pulled him. So that is him.
Cool.
Old Tyler.
All right. So let's go quarterback and see where he's ranked right now. If he is by PFF. Elgerson. Where are you at, sir? He is not even on their big board. Okay, so that's what we've got in right now when it comes to the national team. So that should tell you all you need to know. I bet some of those receivers on the national team is going like, "This sucks. We're not going to be able to showcase our skills as much, right?" Watch him shut us up right here too. 3rd and 6 play out of the gun. Well, 2x2 set, and he takes a sack. Who got that sack? A couple guys there got there early. Is that our boy out of Minnesota, linebacker? Or no? Let's see here. See if we can get a name here. Oh, that's Princely, number 3.
Whatever his name.
No cussing on the show, Tim.
J. Cole said Milroe's playing QB for the American side, so that's good. Good to know. Thank you.
That'd be good to know. Yeah. So here's the guy that just got the sack out of Ole Miss, Princely Unamanellan. 82.
You are an alien? What?
82, 76, then a 91. I want to say we had a pretty good grade on him, too, towards the top. Definitely a first-round grade, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we got him in the 37 spot, so just outside of the first round. Where he's at. So, big-time sack there. Let's see what old Jalen Milroe does coming out here for the American team, right? As they're going to be taking the field. I think we got a penalty, maybe. Holding. Look at these dirt bags, Tim.
Let them play. Let the kids play. Forget about it. They don't call holding in the NFL. What are you calling in here for?
Yeah, so it was number 34 there, Tim. 34 for the American team. Who was that? Because he's the one who really made that sack happen.
34 for the American team is Savion Jones, LSU.
Okay. Savion Jones, LSU.
I think that's how you say it. Savion, SAI''VION Jones. He's an edge. They got him listed as an edge. There he is.
Yeah, 119 on the PFF big board. So it looked like they might have run like a TE or something because he did come in the A to B gap, was right in the quarterback's face. So let's see what we've got him at.
You like to see it too, hands up, going up high. So if there's a throw, bat that ball.
Definitely.
Good fundamental football.
Let's see here. So you said it's SAI. That's where I'm messing up here. Savion Jones.
Are you checking our board?
Yeah, 228. So we've got him at 228, and PFF has him at 119. Big discrepancy there. We don't have a whole lot of information in the draft board yet, though. We've got the 2024 grade. In 2024, he was the 199th graded edge defender. The PFF big board had him at a 111, so he's dropped a little bit since we put the info in. Consensus big board had him at 190. There's nothing on DJ or the 3013. So that's, again, I think it's Savion. I think is how you say it. I could be wrong.
That was my guess. Daryl in the chat said that. Yeah.
Yep. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Daryl. Keeping things intelligent in here for us, buddy. You hear this accent, know somebody's got to do it. Somebody has got to do it. So Jalen Milroe has been a fascinating conversation, Tim. He's a dude that coming into the year was like, hey, he's just like Quinn Ewers. This dude might end up being one of the top quarterbacks to go in the draft. You see, he's dropped down to 96. According to PFF, he's the 1, 2, 3, 4th best quarterback in the league, or in the draft, I should say. And PFF must be getting a lot of traffic. They're struggling right now. Or they said, we don't want you to see Jalen Milroe. Here we go. All right. So, 48, 88, and then barely dropped to an 87. So, he actually played pretty good football this year, according to PFF. That's interesting. Passing grade, 78.3. His intermediate grade, 90.7. No pressure grade, 88.7. His deep grade, man, 93.1. Now, Bam always got some good targets, right? It could be a little bit of a factor there. His pressure grade, though, 51.4. They get pressure on Milroe. He's seen the struggle this year. So that's a interesting look there. Sure. So
that's part of your development, though, right? You're gonna struggle with pressure, especially just making the jump into the NFL versus the college game, right? So it's not a deal breaker, but something you can certainly work on.
Definitely. All right. Let's see what we got here. American team's ball. Third quarter, 6:26 left. It's going to be a 2nd and 7 play. I hate that they're all over the interviews on the sideline. It's like I can't set the play. I can't get, you know what I mean? It takes me a second. I need to see the formation. I need to see is the pressure. What are they setting up the run? Drives me crazy that they wait till the ball is snapped before they go to the field here. It's like they're interviewing Riley Leonard right now.
It's crazy.
That was a hospital ball. It just showed him throw. All right, here's Milroe. We're back to live action. Just handed the ball off to 22, Tim. Who is 22 for the American team?
RJ Harvey, UCF.
All right, so that's a running back that's getting some touches right now. RJ Harvey. He's the 99th best prospect here, according to the PFF Big Board. Man, the grades, 82.3, 87.9, and then is at an 84.7. So solid grades across the board. 5'9", 208, though. Here we go, breaking the huddle. Milroe got him in the gun. We're in a 2x2 set. It's 11 gun dubs. We're going T weak strong right.
Oop.
Ball snap. He'll roll back.
Arian Smith, Georgia.
There you go.
Was that a catch?
That was not, sir. Incomplete.
No. Incomplete. Oh, okay.
So now I think you're a little bit ahead of me, so I'll skip ahead here just a touch. Get synced back up. So here we go, 4th and 9. Are they punting? Third quarter, yeah, we got a punt coming on here. Third quarter, 4:40 left. And the America team's going to punt back. This might come down to the wire, man. This might be a good finish.
Yeah, tie ball game right now.
I'm talking about a sky punt there. Lord have mercy. Number
James
6.
Burnett from Bama.
So they got Restrepo returning punts. They just put so much air under it, he didn't have a shot to return it there. That's probably where he's going to increase his value, right? Restrepo, wide receiver. Yeah. We talked about him a lot. Let's see where PFF has him. They have him 49th, so he's just outside of the first round. 74.7, 87.4, 82.3 for Restrepo. Again, we talked about it, though, Tim. 5'10", 198. That ain't like crazy small. That's right about – how tall was Randall Cobb? I keep trying to comp people to Randall Cobb. Like, we knew Randall could play in the NFL right off the bat, right? Let's see.
Wasn't he like – yeah, he was a 5'10" or 5'11" guy, wasn't he?
I want to say he was. Let's go height, weight. Randall Cobb, 5'10", 192. There you go.
Yeah,
this dude is actually a little bit thicker than Randall Cobb. So Restrepo, I'm not overly concerned with that. Did he play a lot of slot snaps, though?
I believe so.
Yeah. 448, yeah. 448 and 395 the year.
That's why I kind of just gravitated to Jaden Higgins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like another slot guy.
Again, we're trying to make up for Christian Watson being out till week 12 or 13, right? So It doesn't mean that if the board doesn't align perfectly, you wouldn't take a Restrepo, but ideally you want that dude that's going to be, 6'1", 6'2", I imagine would as kind of the starting point. When you look at the receivers here, according to PFF, Tetero McMillan will probably be long gone when we pick. Yep. He's the top wide receiver in the draft, 6'5", 212. He's a dog. Luther Burden the third, 5'11", 208. So a little bit bigger than Restrepo. Then you got, was he a slot guy as well? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So Luther Burden the third is more of a slot receiver. Emeka Egbuka is more of a slot receiver, right? Predominantly 343 snaps in the slot last year. Then you got Matthew Golden, who is 6', 195. He's a wide receiver, right? 376 out wide, only 118 in the slot. Tested catch rate 61.1%, although he is only 6 foot tall, so that's pretty impressive for Matthew Golden. Alec Anyamanur, 75.1 and a 74.1. His snaps were out wide, so he is 6'2", 210. That's another big body receiver there.
Here's a guy right here, Jack Besh.
Jack Besh has really helped himself, man. And again, you get nervous because 65, then a 62, then he jumps to an 83. Okay, is that really who he is? 6'2", 215. He started to flash here during all the practices. Receiving grade 83.1 yards per route run, 2.44. You got a contested catch rate of 65% and a drop rate of 1.6%. That's amazing right there. So, all right. So there's Jack Besh. Then you got Xavier Restrepo. We talked about him. There's Savion Williams, 6'5", 225. That's Besh's teammate there, Tim. Drop rate, though, man, 11.8%. That's a tough look right there. Dude.
Yeah, Savion Williams, you really like the size. That's about it. I think, when you look at these two guys, it's if you're looking for that big body dude, you're probably going with him. But, I think Besh is probably the better of the two receivers.
Yeah. And the thing, like I said, Jaden Higgins has been linked to the Packers. They've met with him, obviously, this week. The thing that sticks out, he's below some of these other guys, It's interesting.
And I don't think the Packers are going to go up to get him or reach necessarily, but I think it could be a realistic scenario like we saw today on our mock that he's there with that second-round pick, and maybe we just pull the trigger.
We just got a deep completion there to number 3 on the national team, Tim. Who is that right there out of Virginia Tech?
Number 3 on the national? Pat Bryant out of Illinois.
There you go. Big play there, 6'3", 200. Had a little shot play from Elgersma. So they are driving. The national team is now driving. Let's see. Snap. Oh, little boot left. Going to set up. Now he's going to run. Going to try to scramble. Get out of there.
We got Pat Bryant right there on our screen, too. That was great timing.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So Pat Bryant, 72, 68, then an 84 last year, only 22 years old, 6'3", 200 pounds, showing up here today. Wide snaps, 291, slot, 81, so he could play a little slot. Look at that receiving grade, 86.
Yes.
Yards per route run, 2.83. Contested catch rate, 69.2%. And his grade versus man coverage, 83.7. That's really impressive.
And then going to Illinois, right? So you got some decent, competition there. Played some, decent opponents throughout this last year.
Yeah.
And it looked like he graded out, and some of his higher grades are against the bigger schools. So you like to see it.
Oh, look at this little end around. Who is this? 0, Tim. No, 11. I'm sorry, 11. 11. Like
Kyle Williams, Washington State.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember him. He was really low on our board, and he started to pick up a little bit of steam. Right? You said Washington State, so I'm pretty sure PFF has him way down. He may not even be on their board. What was the first name again, Tim?
Kyle, Kyle.
Kyle Williams. Yeah, so they may not even have him on their board. Check this out. Yeah, if they don't. Now, I know he's on ours because we talked about it. We actually added him the other day. Significantly lower. Not that it was a crazy good play, but let's see where he's at real quick. Kyle Williams. Yeah, we got him at 431. But he did pop. He got a bonus this week because they said he really stood out. I can't remember who it was. It might have been it was Daniel Jeremiah said he stood out. So there you go. Got a little bit of a bonus. It's not going to help a whole lot. Since his big board had him at 840, so one of those later guys for sure. So
nice.
All right, 4th and 4, third quarter, about 50 seconds left. National ball. Let's see what they're going to decide to do here. They're setting up for the field goal. They are.
Where they got Zabel at? Is Zabel playing center?
I don't know if he's still in the game or not, Tim, to be honest with you.
It looks like they just put him. I think he's long snapping here for the kick.
That's a tiny dude there, number 48.
Oh, okay. I thought I just saw Gray Zabel on the screen.
Hey, there's Fitzgerald. We've been talking about him, right? I know he won't be on the PFF big board, but let's go to the consensus big board real quick and see. Because remember, we were talking, I think he was linked to the Packers too, if I remember correctly, right? Fitzgerald.
Yep.
Borregales was as well. So Fitzgerald is currently 371. He peaked at 148. So obviously his stock has dropped significantly. You see Borregales, though, out of Miami is really starting to rise up boards, moved up 6 spots according to the mock draft database. So,
oh my gosh, please, Goody, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do not draft a kicker.
All we're asking for is Brandon McManus. Is that too much to ask?
That's it.
You got the dude in house. Just bring him back.
Yes. Oh, we got a question here in the chat from Braden. Clayton, where do you have Jalen Smith, corner out of USC, on our board?
Let's find out. That's a great question. Keep that up there for me, Tim, if you don't care.
You got it.
Let's search real quick. So we're going to go look for Jalen Smith. We've got him in the 190 spot. Jalen Smith out of USC, 190. Here's how the grade lays out. In 2022, he was the 570th graded corner. Then he jumped to 460 in 23. Then he jumped all the way to 49th in 2024. The PFF big board had him at 153. The consensus big board had him at 225. So he settles in the 190 spot for us. So obviously, if we're talking, where would the Packers potentially take Jalen Smith out of USC cornerback? And it makes sense for our board, the PTA board, probably be somewhere around the 5th or 6th round. Probably the 6th round is where you want to get him. If he falls to 196, that might be a good spot to take him, Braden. And anybody else you guys got, man, just fire them off in there, and we'll try to hit them in rapid fire before we wrap up. We'll go a little bit long.
That's a great point, though. I'm glad Braden brought that up, because we just talked about how if we don't swing for a corner early, it's kind of slim pickings as you get later in the draft. But here's a guy with some pretty decent value, especially if you can, maybe you get him in the 6th round, So I like it. There's kind of a short list of those guys. we had, like the Jade Barons and those guys are going to be gone. They're just not going to be on the board for us if we don't take one early. So I like having options there.
There's a nice rep from I think it was number 29 there for the national team, Tim. A corner just broke up a pass here. I'm trying to see who they were. Is that number 11? So that's Restrepo? No, that's 17 on the outside. 29 on the national team.
Sebastian Castro.
All right, let's see.
Iowa. Hawkeyes.
That was a nice little rep there, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a safety, right? And we've got him in the 189 spot. So that's where Sebastian Castro is. Look at his PFF grade in 2023. Holy cow, man. He was the third highest graded safety in all of college football.
Yeah, buddy.
That's really interesting. Really interesting. That's the end of the third quarter. The national team leads 11-8. They've done a good job with this, man. It's been a lot of fun. It really has.
This is how you know you've got some good squads and you're getting some good scouting done, because you see how close this game is. It's not about, launching rocket balls all day, and you're getting a good look at these players, and that's the whole point of these type of games, right?
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt about it. We're with you, Daryl. Why do the Packers need another rookie kicker? They do not, sir.
They do not.
We need to bring Brandon McManus back, man. No doubt about that. I don't know any fans that are like, we can do without McManus. Everybody is. Please, go. We will chip in if we need to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
we can afford them, though.
Yeah.
Just got to get it done.
Braden, talking about his boy from USC, says, thanks. Would like to like him late in the draft. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
I agree. Totally.
Yeah, man, Caleb Downs, Daryl, holy cow, that dude, the best safety in college football, right? Now he's going back to school. Am I thinking right, Tim? Yeah, he's not.
I was going to say, did he declare? I don't think he did.
I don't think he can, to be honest with you. Caleb Downs, if I remember correctly, right? Because obviously he would be all over the board. He obviously transferred from Alabama when Nick Saban left and went to Ohio State. And he's just a stud. He's one of those dudes, they said when he arrived on campus as a true freshman in Bama, best player on the field immediately. So you're going to hear Caleb Downs next year, I believe it is. He's going to be eligible. So solid. Daryl says Malachi Starks. Yeah, we talked about Malachi earlier. Malachi's an interesting prospect, man. If I can not screw up his name here, let's just type in Starks.
Yeah, the Georgia guy.
Yeah, 24th on our board, guys. Malachi Starks.
It's the one we were talking about is kind of like a Bullard. You could play him deep, but pretty much a slot guy.
Now, if you look at our board from last year, okay, these were our top safeties. We had Tyler Nubin, 1. We had Javon Bullard, 2. Katana Ladapo, 3. Then Cam Kinchins, 4. Then Tyler Demerson, we had him 5. Kalen Bullock, 6. Then Cole Bishop, 7th. Okay, so with those particular players, Tyler Nubin was our best safety. We talked about him the other day. He seemed like he had a pretty good rookie campaign. So in this case right here, I'm trying to see about where he was sitting at. Give me just a second here, Tim. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Even though he was the top safety taken, he was probably 10, 20. He was probably around the 30 spot. So Malachi Starks, if we were to compare these from last year, you probably have Malachi Starks 1 tier higher than Tyler Nubin, our best safety. That's how different it is if I'm looking at it here. Tyler Nubin had a 39.2 grade on him. Yeah, and Malachi Starks is sitting here with a 28.4. So you can see significantly higher. Malachi Starks would have been the best safety in the draft last year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's no doubt about that. Then Xavier Watts has fallen in at 32.3 is the grade. That's closer to Tyler Nubin, but Xavier Watts would have been better than Tyler Nubin, no doubt about that, according to our board, our grade. And then the next one, Nick Emanware from South Carolina, we talked about. His grade is a 45.1. He would have been right below Tyler Nubin, but above Javon Bullard, who had a 63.8 grade. So it's cool to kind of compare and contrast players, multiple years. You hear my dogs going crazy.
I was going to say, it sounds like Lincoln likes Malachi Starks. So there you go.
Yes, so Manny and her mom had to take a trip, and I'm stuck dog sitting today, so they're going to get rowdy from time to time. What just happened? We have a turnover here, Tim?
I believe so, yeah.
See what happens here. Oh, Bobble snap, nothing special. So.
Oh, I thought, okay, so it wasn't strip. It was just a bad snap.
Ain't nobody getting a positive on that play from Clayton, I promise you. Oh, but he recovered a fumble. I seen it in the box score. Yeah, it's because the offense screwed the pooch. Let's not pretend like he made a play, right? So
now, are we looking at the center there, or are we looking at the QB?
That's a great question, right?
That's what they're really looking at on that exchange.
Yeah, great question. All right, so the national team has the ball now. It looks like they lead the turnover battle 3-1, takeaways anyway. American team's turned it over 3 times. Little fake split flow, little rollout. Going to hit the H-back out of the backfield. Number 44, Tim. 44 from the national team. Who you got there?
44.
Oh, you know who that is?
Harold Fannin Jr.
There. He played a little sift there. He came across on a fake sift, and they just
Bowling Green, baby.
Let's see where we got Fannin again. I remember us talking about him a lot. We got him in the 40 spot.
Yeah.
That's real, man. If he was to fall to the 3rd round, Tim, somebody like that where it's great value, I'd be totally fine. Totally fine with them taking.
I think they got Gray Zabel at left guard now.
Yep.
Moved him
all over the place.
Yeah. 24.
I apologize for the bark.
Quint Allen Jr. out of Syracuse with the carry there. I don't know what we have on him. We're not really in the running back market, but
yeah, that's my brother's dog down there. He's going off right now, so he's still getting used to everything.
Is he still getting used to the new digs?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say we could wrap this up, Tim, but this looks like it might be a good finish. There's Fannin again, all the way down inside the 1. Yep, out at the 1 yard line. So let me go see if I can hush these dogs. You guys bear with me a second. Tim, don't feel like you have to talk, man. I'll be right back. Let me quieten them down. I don't want y'all to have to hear that.
That's all good. Got Coach Len in the chat. Love this tight end. I agree, Coach. I think there's some value if he's going to be on the board late, for sure. Yeah, Harold Fannin Jr. We're going to have to do some tape study on him. Guys in the chat, let us know. Is there anyone else that you're liking so far in this game? We've got about 13 minutes left. We can maybe look them up on our board or on the big board. Shout out to Daryl. Yeah, Clay is a Notre Dame fan. Bringing up Benjamin Morrison, cornerback out of Notre Dame. His defensive percentages were pretty good, too. Yeah, we talked about him a little earlier. I would agree, definitely. And, of course, we're showing favoritism.
Yeah, I'm not as big on Benjamin Morrison as most people are, man. And that's why I was asking Jake, is because me being a Notre Dame fan, you think I'd be all over it. And it's not just about the injury. It's just kind of where he ranked. He was never considered like the top cornerback in the league, according to PFF. You know what I mean? Like he was the 118th ranked corner in 22. Then he jumped to 103. And then this year he was hurt, so you couldn't really see it. He technically graded out 330th, but he got injured early, so you throw that out. Yep. PFF had him at 15th. The consensus big board had him at 22.
Tutter.
Daniel Jeremiah's got him at 45, and then the 33rd team has him at 38. So
just had a tutter. Daquan Felton out of Virginia Tech.
Felton. Let's see where we got him at.
Gray Zabel in at center, too. Coach Len keeping us up to date. They just moved him from guard over to center.
Look at that. Daquan Felton. We've got him in the 422 spot. Wow.
Yeah. Going for 2 here.
Jackson Dart. Got it. Who was that? Number 12. Noel? Is that Noel?
Yep, Jalen Noel. Yep.
There you go. Jalen Noel, 127 on our board.
Yep. Another guy out of Iowa State.
Just like that, it's 19-8. Now you're going to have to get on your horse and go if you're the American team, right?
Yes, sir. Might get to see some 2-minute here, some no huddle, some tempo.
That'd be nice.
Kind of hard to do that, though, even with a week of practice, right? You got all these guys from different schools. It's like, you're rotating quarterbacks. It's got to be pretty tough to run, a 2-minute drill.
Definitely. What do you think, Tim? You want to go ahead and wrap it up, man? Let everybody go enjoy the game?
Yeah, man, might as well.
Let's do it. All right. We'll end it right there. Again, David James. Make sure you reach out to me. Shoot me a text, 865-658-5824. You are the winner of the Dorsey Levens autographed jersey. If we don't hear from them, it'll be Jarrell Lee. If we don't hear from Jarrell, it'll be Andrew Matson. So if you're one of those 3 people, reach out to me. That way, if for some reason David James doesn't come forward and get his jersey, we'll give it to the 2nd place. If they don't come forward, we'll give it to the 3rd. So
nice.
Tim, you got any parting thoughts, man? This was fun, dude. This was our first ever live stream during the Senior Bowl.
This was great. This was great. Shout out to everybody watching us on X too. We got 358 watching us live on X right now. Make sure you guys hit that like too. Helps us over there. No, this was great, man. First time was a great time. And thank you to Jake Shaving too for stopping in. That was great.
A lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Yep. J. Cole says David James is my burner account, don't you? You think you're slick, don't you? Think you're slick. Thank you, Bates. Bates says, thanks, guys. Great show. Appreciate it. Go Pack Go. Thank y'all for hanging out, guys. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. So up next, obviously, you get past the Senior Bowl. We're going to have the Combine coming up here at the end of the month, right, Tim? Got the dates.
Pull the calendar here.
There you go. Oh, we both hit it. All right. So February 9th, obviously, is going to be the Super Bowl. Then February 18th, the teams may designate franchise tags or the transition tags as well. So that's going to be coming up here February 18th. And then the 20th, Packers contract restructure. Okay, that's kind of that target date. Right around February 20th, you got a chance of these contract restructures to start pouring in. Again, we've got 6 players identified here, Tim. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 7. Rashawn Gary, Jair Alexander, Jordan Love, Elton Jenkins, Xavier McKinney, Kenny Clark, and Josh Jacobs. I expect at least 3 to 4 of those guys to have their contracts restructured. There's a chance you have them all go, right? And we'll see what happens with Jair Alexander, too, as that decision is going to be made here real soon. So, obviously, that's coming up here in February, around February 20th. Going to be cool, man. The reason I mentioned that, too, Tim, is once you see them restructure those contracts, that's going to give you an idea of maybe how aggressive they're going to be. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
So we'll see. And it doesn't mean they pull the trigger on a overpay a player they shouldn't overpay. It just means they'll put themselves in position to go out and be a little bit aggressive in free agency or potentially roll that cap into next year. Because again, we're playing cash over cap. You're trading cash, signing bonus money to free up cap space. Whether you use it this year or not, it can roll into next year. So again, that's February 20th. And then here we go with the Combine. I think it's in February that it cranks up here. So February the 24th through March the 3rd is the NFL Scouting Combine. We'll be doing a few watch parties for that too. We'll pick a day where there's going to be some big name players out there running the 40 and all that stuff. So February 24th, that'll be right around the corner.
It's coming up down there in Indy.
This big return from Zero. Who's Zero, Tim, on the American team?
Zero on the American team. Brashard Smith, SMU, running back.
A nice return right there. All right, guys, y'all enjoy the rest of the game. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. If you would, hit that like button. Feel free to sub to the channel. We'll see you tomorrow for Good Morning Lambeau, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Tim, thank you for your time, bud.
Thanks for having me, Clay. This was awesome. Talk to you soon.
You too, man. Shout out to Two-Tone becoming a member and Philip Rude. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting the show. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you soon.
And we go. We out. Bye, guys.